Pirate's God level sign in system chapter 121-140. Chapter 121 _ towards the interior of the forest. First change. Zoro. At this moment, the empty shark suddenly appeared. Zoro held his weapon in front of the empty shark's mouth, and the empty shark did not swallow Zoro. Zoro. Chopper and Nami both shouted with concern. Zoro was once again brought into the sea of clouds by the empty shark. Again. Sinking again. Chopper was worried because Zoro didn't come out this time. Could he be eaten? Nami asked in despair. This guy will be killed by an empty shark. He is no longer Zoro. Shu-King still had absolute confidence in Zoro's strength. Ah, Zoro must have been eaten. Chopper looked desperate again. If he's eaten, the cloud should be dyed red, Robin replied. Why do you say such terrible things so calmly? Robin. Nami couldn't help but complain. At this moment, Zoro shouted loudly, it's annoying. Obviously, the empty shark has been defeated by Zoro. Zoro walked up the steps slowly, and the empty shark had already floated above the sea of clouds, obviously being hammered. It's nerve-wracking. It seems he's pretty tough in the water, Zoro said. Did you knock the shark unconscious with your fist just now? You are obviously a swordsman. Where did your so-called swordsman's dignity go? Nami couldn't help scolding. You're so annoying. Rory is so wordy. Zoro didn't really want to pay attention to Nami. At this moment, more empty sharks suddenly appeared around. Chopper said immediately after seeing it, wow. There are a lot of empty sharks. There are a lot of empty sharks swimming over. If you only deal with one, the sun will have to wait for the sun to go down, and you will never be able to reach the other side, Zoro said. Even so, we can't just sit still here, right? Robin felt that something had to be done. Zoro twisted his clothes and said, that prawn really took us to an incredible place. Is starvation here the so-called punishment of God? Robin asked. Would God use such an inconspicuous way? Zoro also expressed doubts. As far as I know, no, this guy might make a thunderbolt and kill us. Shu-King made his own guess. Cut to death. The bottom of the boat is like this now, and it can't be launched. You can find a way to fix the boat first. Chopper. Zoro said. You asked people to repair the ship, what are you going to do? Nami asked immediately. I want to find a way to enter the forest. I want to use the ship as our stronghold first. Luffy and the others will definitely come here to find us. As the saying goes, if you get lost, stay still. Zoro said. Shu-King felt that this saying was probably made up by Zoro. After all, the most serious Lu idiot should be Zoro. But what are you going to do after you go to the forest now? Chopper asked. Didn't they say there is a god on this island? I want to meet him for a while to see if he is as godly as Shu-King said. Although Zoro wasn't expecting like Luffy, he was still eager to try. You save it. What are you doing to meet that inexplicable and terrifying guy? Nami also felt that Zoro's actions were a bit unnecessary. Who knows, let's see the guy's attitude first. Zoro said condescendingly. Don't forget, gods have priests. Anyway, gods can't be offended. Is this common sense? Nami warned with her hands on her hips. I'm sorry, I never asked God to worship Buddha. Zoro said very haughty. I don't believe in God at all, why am I afraid of angering God? Zoro's fearless appearance made Nami very desperate. Nami had no choice but to pray to God and make it clear that she had nothing to do with Zoro. The more Shu-King looked at the side, the more he wanted to laugh, but he couldn't help it, so he said, only Luffy and I are more suitable candidates for Enel, others should deal with priests. Logia ability is difficult for ordinary people to touch. Yes, like crocodile, quote. But can't he touch it? Zoro and the others asked. That's his own weakness. As soon as he touches the liquid, Logia's special ability will be broken. In other words, he can't be elementalized temporarily, but other Logia ability users, such as Ace, have not learned Haki. Before, it was impossible to touch them. Shu-King said. Haki. What is it? Zoro was a little confused. It seems that you haven't come into contact with this knowledge yet, let me tell you about it. Shukang probably talked about hockey, which finally made Zoro, Robin and others understand. However, Luffy doesn't know hockey either, why is he suitable for dealing with the god Enel? Zoro was not stupid at all, and asked after reacting immediately. He's a rubber man. As a Raiden man, Enel's Thunderbolt is just ineffective. As for me, I just learned hockey. Although it is very basic, it can at least hit Logia's ability. Shukang then after showing his ability, his hands were directly armament hardened, and everyone was naturally a little dumbfounded. However, there's nothing wrong with getting to know this guy, right? Sooner or later we'll meet each other. Rather than doing nothing here, why not go to him, right? Zoro looked at Shukang and asked. That's right. On this point, Shukang still agreed with Zoro. That vine looks usable, Zoro said when he looked up and saw a vine. Yes, what a great idea, can I go with you? Shukang and Mr. Swordsman. Robin asked. Okay, let's go. Shukang planned to leave. Wait, Robin, are you going too? Where are you going? Nami asked immediately. Look at this altar has been built for at least 1,000 years. When I see something with such a long history, my body can't help but move. The longer the history, the more heritage will be asleep. If you pick up a few gem fragments, how much can you subsidize the ship? Robin's words hit Nami's heart instantly. I'm going too. Nami immediately raised her hand. Weren't you scared just now? Chopper asked. Afterwards, using the vines, Robin, Zoro, Nami, and Shukang swung into the forest one after another, and the Mary was handed over to Chopper. Everyone together, headed towards the interior of the forest. Walking and walking, Zoro took the initiative to chat with everyone. I don't know where this god is. Zoro asked. If it was God, it would have seen through our every move, right? Robin replied. If he wants to come out on his own, that's fine, Zoro said. Maybe, he saw us, but he was just waiting for a suitable time. Shukang also guessed randomly. It would be great if you didn't come out, you have no idea how terrifying this god is. Nami couldn't help recalling the terrifying scene before. Chapter 122-Heavenly Knight Shura. The second. God, please stay quiet, and please bless me to find the treasure. Nami began to pray uncontrollably again. Anyway, even if you walk along the river, there's not much progress. Would you like to cross this river and look at the other side? Zoro asked. That's right. Robin nodded. However, how do we get there? Do you still use vines to sway over like just now? Or do you want to find a piece of wood? Nami accidentally fell into the sea of clouds, and an empty shark in the sea of clouds suddenly rushed out, almost swallowed Nami in her mouth, but fortunately Zoro's reaction was quick, and he kicked the empty shark away. Bastard! Why is there even here? Absolutely not. I'm definitely no match for this river. I don't want to throw myself into the net and become the bait for the empty shark. Nami was really frightened by the empty shark just now. However, even if you keep walking along the river, you may not reach the other side, Zoro advised. If you want to go, Zoro, you can go by yourself. At this time, Nami backed away. Hey, if you were so scared, you would have been followed from the beginning. Zoro couldn't help but want to quarrel with Nami. It was Robin who asked the two to stop arguing for a while. You two, look at the land here first. Robin pinched the ground. Is there anything wrong? This is on the ground. Nami said. Don't forget, this is Sky Island. Robin then turned to look at Shukang. Indeed, there is no soft feeling here. Zoro felt it too. Yes, didn't you say that Sky Island was built on the island cloud? It's been a long time since I touched the land like this, why is this island different? Nami didn't react for a while, and then watched everyone watching. Shukang couldn't help but looked towards Shukang. Yes, that's right, as I said before. This is a part of Jaya. It was washed into the sky by the sky and the ocean, and finally formed here. Therefore, only here can we have land. Shu King once again expressed his 1,000 views. Looks like this is an incredible island, and it looks like it's worth investigating, Robin said. Everyone then explored for a while, and at this time Nami suddenly said, "Huh. Did you feel something moving?" "Really?" Zoro said he didn't feel anything. I said, "Robin, Shu King, did you see anything?" Nami asked. "I don't know, I didn't see anything," Robin said. "I didn't see anything, but I feel like someone is there, right?" Shu King's words made Nami think it was a deliberate joke. "Maybe a monkey," Zoro guessed. "Monkey, who knows? I think we might as well go to the other side of the river," Robin suggested. "Walking, what if I am attacked by an empty shark again?" Nami said with some fear of death. Robin didn't know what to say either. Shu King had nothing to say about Nami's fear of death. No need to be afraid after saying it many times, but Nami just wouldn't listen. Robin then found the stone steps again, and then said, "Go ahead, maybe you can find more clues." At this time, Shu King heard a whistle. I said, "What was that sound just now?" Nami asked. Don't ask, don't move. Zoro has a serious face, ready to fight." Robin also showed a serious expression. As for Shu King, there was no change at all. At this moment, an aerial crocodile suddenly rushed out, rushing in the direction of Nami and Zoro. "I told you to stop joking. Asshole." Zoro punched the crocodile again, and when the crocodile rushed out, Robin locked his mouth with countless hands. The empty crocodile fell into the sea of clouds, and Robin couldn't help but said, "Today is really your disaster day." Naturally, it was Nami. Nami slumped on the spot and said, "Thank you. If I guessed correctly, Chopper should have blew his whistle. He must have encountered danger and summoned the Sky Knight, Ganfer." Shu King said what he had guessed. After all, in this world, if Shu King hadn't insisted on changing the plot would generally not have changed much. As far as Shu King knew, Chopper naturally became a living sacrifice by staying there, and would be killed by one of the priests. In desperation, Chopper whistled. "What? Let's go back immediately." Zoro and the others were still more concerned about Chopper's safety. Shu King shook his head and said, "No, how do you guys explore? I'll just go back. I'll be faster and more convenient. Don't forget my abilities." After Shu King finished speaking, he spread out his demon wings and flew towards the melee. When it arrived, a priest was sabotaging the Mary. In fact, even this priest would not destroy the Mary. The keel part of the Mary is no longer available. However, seeing Chopper desperately protecting the melee, Shu King still chose to take action. "Hey!" Shu King appeared in front of this priest in an instant. "Shu King." Chopper looked like a savior. "Hey, you didn't say hello to me if you wanted to destroy our ship. Do you want to die?" Shu King said coldly, looking at the person in front of him. It seems that you are also one of the living sacrifices. What about the others? Come together, lest I run around, what do you think?" The priest was cold and cold. Isho didn't seem to take Shu King seriously. "I don't want to fight with you, because you're not worthy. Go back and ask Enel to come out and fight me," Shu King said. "It's really funny. It's up to you. Is it even worthy of the god Enel to shoot? It's a big tone. Don't resist, and die obediently, so that you can die more comfortably." The priest still didn't look down on Shu King. "Since you have to do it, then do it." Shu King even ignored the other party. Neither side looked down on each other, and both felt that the other party was not small. Immediately afterwards, the priest finally said, "In this case, I have no choice but to crush you, but before crushing you, there are some things I must tell you in advance. I am the priest of Sky Island, the Knight of the Sky, Shura. This is my mount, the three-footed bird, called Cross-Legged. Your friends are desperately rushing towards this place. Secretly on this island, there exists bias. The priests are in charge of the 4 areas. According to the regulations, When the target enters one of the areas, other priests cannot shoot at him, but this living sacrifice altar does not belong to any area. In other words, this is a free area, which means that no matter who wants to shoot, it can start, but it must wait for the death of the tester in a certain area to start. Chopper immediately panicked. So, Luffy and the others. No, don't be nervous, I'm not here because your partner died. It's a pity that I'm here for other reasons, the priest said. Kneeling and begging, reading the silver note. Chapter 123 Blue Sea People S. The third. Other reasons. Chopper was stunned for a moment, then immediately responded. So, as long as Luffy and the others come here to save us, we can escape. Although he was very upset, the priest in front of him nodded. Yes, that's what it is, if you escape this free zone. But don't worry, the reason why I came here for other reasons means that if there are exceptions to the original sanction rules, the form will be slightly changed. The priest said. Exception. That's right, for example, when you encounter 3 or 4 living sacrifices and use the vines without authorization to escape to the forest on the other side. The priest said. Chopper didn't react for a while, so he realized that Zoro was the culprit. The crimes of the escapees must be paid for by someone's death. This is the truth called sacrifice in the world. Although you have returned, those people have not come back. In order for them to witness the death of their partner, they can be more if you are deeply aware of the crimes you have committed, you should obediently dedicate your lives to God. The Heavenly Knight Shira said a lot, and finally pulled out his sword. Go to hell. How could Shu Kang let this priest kill Chopper and himself? Shu Kang had already blocked the sword he inserted. Oh, I can't see that you still have 2 strikes. But can you block all my attacks? After Shira's voice fell, he took his weapon and started to attack Shu in various ways. Kang insert. However, while attacking, Shira was shocked because he had observation haki and could predict the short future. Amazing, I never imagined that Blue Sea would have a presence like you, able to fend off all my attacks. It seems that even in the Blue Sea, you are considered a master. Shira praised Shu Kang and immediately said, however, it's no use at all, and you'll still die at my hands in the end. Huh. At this moment, a figure appeared, and this person directly attacked Shira. I kept you waiting. Sky Knight. At this time, Chopper saw that the Sky Knight was also coming, and his confidence was naturally greatly increased. After all, 2 people stood up on his side, 2 against 1, how could he not lose? Shu Kang immediately stood in front of Chopper, while the Sky Knight stalked the priest. This is really a rare visitor, Gonfeuer. Shira and Gonfeuer both had mounts, so naturally they flew up on their mounts and started the sky battle. This is really a chess match, let's start a little harder. Pierre, Ganfort said. Why did the old immortal from the previous generation look for me? Just play with him, cross-legged. Heavenly Knight Shira didn't think he would lose to a stinky old man. This island doesn't need 2 gods. The 2 were fighting each other, but Shu Kang seemed a bit redundant. In the end, the Sky Knight stretched out his hand, and it seemed that he used the platoon to easily deal with the Sky Knight, which moved Chopper badly. You still need to work harder, Pierre. Ganfort didn't intend to let the Knight of the Sky go, and continued to chase after him. Bastard. You have come here with your consciousness, you are already a criminal, I will let you see what will happen to the fool who annoys me, and put it to trial. The Sky Knight opened his hand, to fight against this Gonfeuer with all their strength. The 2 of them fought very well. Shu Kang just silently protected Chopper by the side. Sometimes it feels good to appreciate other people's battles. The speed of both sides was very fast, and Chopper couldn't help saying, I can't see what they are doing at all. The speed is so fast. It's amazing. Fortunately, I can see clearly. Shu Kang said. The old man no longer has the illusion of being able to negotiate with you. Gonfeuer said while fighting with the opponent. You're still so indecisive. The Knight of the Sky continued to fight Ganfeuer without stopping. Suddenly, Ganfeuer seemed to be unable to move. Why? Why can't I move? What did you do? Ganfeuer asked. Ha ha. Got the trick. I don't need to answer the dead man's question. Seeing that the flaming sword of the Sky Knight was about to pierce Ganfuer, Shu King appeared again. This time Shu King used the armament haki he had just learned. Armament made a hardened effort, completely deflecting the opponent's fire sword. What? It's impossible, with only the flesh. Who is this guy? Ganfuer also showed an unbelievable expression and looked at Shu King. Don't underestimate the blue sea in your mouth, where any Shichibukai may be able to kill the god in your mouth. Shu King kicked the sky and the Sky Knight and the bird below him. On this kick, Shu King also used armament hardening. Yes, Shu King has been able to use armament hardening. On his hands and feet, Shu King's attack power is already very strong, not to mention the fusion of armament. Hands and feet have turned black, as hard as steel. Who the hell is this guy? Ganfuer had never seen armament haki, but thought that Shu King was not a simple person. The trial of ropes is not that simple, but don't think about passing the level easily. This time, the Knight of the Sky, Shira, made a comeback again and charged towards Shu King. HMPH, you are weak. Even if you can use the heart net in your mouth to predict my actions, you will not be able to react. I should be right. Shu King then used ultra high-speed tactics, using his instant body and the high-speed movement of the demon, to rush towards the Sky Knight at an extremely fast speed. Shu King's speed was unimaginable. How is that possible? The Heavenly Knight saw Shu King disappear and disappeared. In his heart, the Heavenly Knight predicted that he would be sent flying, but Shu King was clearly far away from him, but the next second, Shu King appeared in front of him. You can predict me, and I can also predict you, but, how does this make sense? In the face of absolute strength. What Shu King said is not wrong. To use Xinhuang, you must concentrate on it. If you are beaten unilaterally and your mind is disturbed, observation haki will not be able to be used. This time, Shu King really fooled the other party. Shu King directly exerted armament haki to the strongest, and used the power of his first form to directly slam into the past. The impact of the demon made the surrounding empty sharks timid. Bang! The body of the Sky Knight Shira disappeared in front of his eyes like a cannonball. This is so strong. It seems to be immune to this guy's special ability. Who are you? The person from Blue Sea. Ganfuer finally couldn't help but asked. Shu King replied, me. I'm just a Blue Sea person. Chapter 124 The Origin of Appayado. For silver. First change. Okay, since this guy has been defeated by me, then next, I will go back. Shu King said. Wait, could it be that every Blue Sea person is as powerful as you? Ganfuer, as a former god, was naturally unaware of the outside world, so he asked Shu King. That's not true. If everyone is as strong as me, I'm afraid the whole sea will become unstable. Shu King left a look, leaving a deep memory for Ganfuer. Shu King, thank you. And the Sky Knight, thank you too. Chopper expressed his gratitude to the Sky Knight. Shu King quickly flew back to the place where everyone had just separated, and found that everyone was still there. However, at this time, Nami had already climbed to a high place, and at this time was looking around with a telescope. Shu King informed the crowd that Chopper had nothing to do, and then everyone heard an explosion in unison. Then what happened to the explosion? Everyone asked, and of course no one could answer everyone's questions. It doesn't matter, let's go forward first. Nami continued to walk along the huge branch all the way forward. Zoro and Robin were a little confused. What did you see? Could it be that you saw God? Zoro asked. No, even if you say it, you probably can't understand it. Really, this kind of road is not easy at all. Nami complained as she walked. Didn't you say it would be faster to walk this way? Said Robin. Don't give a shit, what did you see? Zoro asked. Don't ask, just shut up and follow me. You have to find a way to get to the coast first, Nami said. By the way, give me a hand, Shu King. Nami saw that Shu King could fly and was still behind her, so she naturally became violent. What a fierce person. Didn't you say you wanted to lead the way? Asking people to follow you. You should be the first, right? Zoro complained to Shu Kang. The coast. Robin responded. Yes, I want to get a little closer to confirm. I still can't believe my eyes. Nami said. I also have a little concern. Although I haven't found any evidence yet, if these absurd assumptions are true, it will be interesting. Maybe my purpose of living can continue. Robin said more deeply. But it's just a hypothetical right now, Robin said. It's not an assumption. Although I don't know what you're talking about, what you want here must exist. Shu Kang said his innermost words. Yeah, Robin looked at Shu Kang, but hummed, not very perfunctory, but with a hint of gratitude. In this way, everyone has been going towards the coast, Robin said. The coast should be very close, right? You can hear the sound of the waves, listen. Huh. Zoro looked up and looked forward. Really? It's just ahead. Nami's expression was a little surprised but also filled with excitement and frenzy. Let's go. Zoro couldn't help complaining. So what are we going to see? What is this guy giggling? I don't know. Could it be that you saw gold? Shu Kang also guessed, and it was impossible for him to know everything in the original book. Well, there are other sounds mixed in with the sound of the waves, Robin said. Well, there are some unpleasant sounds, like the sound of many people swarming. It's the sound that I'm tired of hearing in Alabasta. Zoro said with a slight smile. Are you okay? Robin looked at Shu Kang. Chopper is fine. I just defeated a priest and saved him, Shu Kang said. No, I'm worried about the captain and the others. We were taken away. They shouldn't stand by, right? Robin said. Shu Kang thought for a while, and then said, of course, in order to come to the living sacrifice, Luffy and the others must pass through the forest, and when they pass through the forest, they will be assessed by priests. Luffy and the others should have defeated one of the priests. Therefore, some people began to rebel against God Enel, which is what I can understand. Shu Kang's words were naturally correct. The situation seems to be getting more and more complicated. Robin already felt the chaotic struggle between the forces in Sky Island. It's clear, though, that Zoro is used to getting caught up in all kinds of trouble. It's no use worrying about this kind of thing. Zoro usually doesn't worry about anyone. That's right. Robin agreed. At this time, Nami accidentally fell down, but there was nothing to do, and she walked forward as if fascinated. Nami. Hey. Zoro called Nami, but Nami didn't mean to stop at all. What happened to her suddenly? Robin also asked strangely. Really, as soon as I got to the beach, my spirit suddenly came. Zoro also complained. It finally stopped. What is it? Shu Kang said. At this time, Nami stopped and said, sure enough, it's not that I saw it wrong. This is. Robin also stared at everything in front of him. Hey, Nami should almost tell. When everyone looked at everything in front of them, they already fully understood. You don't need to say anything, do you? Do you think this looks familiar? It doesn't seem to be a legend. We only saw it this morning. Nami said. What's going on? Why does something on the ground appear here? Is it the same thing? Zoro asked in disbelief. No, this thing is the other half of what we see on the ground, Robin said. Then everyone looked at Shu Kang in disbelief. Why, you can even guess this right. It seems that you already knew before stepping into Sky Island. Everyone couldn't help looking at Shu Kang and asked. Shu Kang, Vivi Isho, made it up casually. I can predict the future, believe it or not. Instead of saying this, it's better to say that my devil fruit can make me understand some things more quickly. In this case, is it acceptable? There is land that shouldn't exist in the White Sea. Why? After all, this island is not composed of clouds. This island called Apayado originally existed in the Blue Sea. The island, and what is it? It is naturally part of Jaya Island. Seeing all this, you should be able to be sure, right? Quote. Every time Shu Kang said, everyone thought it was a joke at first, but when the facts were put in front of them, everyone knew Shu Kang's god. The big house is obviously 2 floors, but there is no staircase leading to the 2nd floor, and there is no reason to build the house on that kind of cliff. It turns out that the coast is the crack of the island. Chapter 125 _ the position of the right eye of the skeleton. For silver. The second. Sure enough, this is the other half that was separated, and this is Jaya Island. A long time ago, it was because of the sky current that the island was divided into 2 halves. Half of them came to the sky, Zoro said. Although this kind of thing makes people feel absurd, Shu King is right, only the current can make this island fly so high. Nami said. The going township that Rolando discovered that once existed underground did not sink into the sea. It turns out that Jaya Island has always been floating in the air. Nami then became very excited. Thank you, God. After a lot of hardships, I came to Sky Island. I didn't expect this to be going township. This must be a reward for my usual deeds. Nami showed a very satisfied expression. Aren't you very afraid of the gods on this island? Zoro couldn't help but complained. God, what is that? Is he worth more than going? Nami said. You were clearly thanking God just now. Robin was also a little speechless. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about anymore. Zoro was completely speechless. Nami is like this, there is no way. Shu Kang said with a smile. If Luffy doesn't want to be One Piece, King of Pirates, Nami doesn't love money, and Usopp isn't timid, are they still pirates? After everyone understood certain things, they naturally returned to the vicinity of Mary. Everyone called Chopper and Chopper came out crying because Chopper felt like they were asking Mary to him and he screwed up. Shu Kang had already told everyone what had just happened. As partners, everyone naturally didn't take it to heart, but instead tried to comfort Chopper. At this time, Luffy Sanji Usopp also appeared in front of everyone in a strange boat. Miss Nami, Robin, you've been waiting for a long time. I've come to save you through the trial of love. Sanji waved excitedly. It seems that they are also in good spirits, so they are finally relieved. Nami also fell down with a hanging heart. After Usopp got on the ship, he saw that the mainmast was gone and almost died on the spot, but instead of blaming Chopper, he went to repair the ship. Sky Knight Ganfer is old and frail. He suffered a certain blow in the previous battle, so he was injured and cultivated in Mary. Luffy looked at this old grandfather and was very distressed. I didn't expect that because of the whistle of the free service, we would fight to this extent for us. If the Sky Knight and Shu Kang hadn't come, the ship and I would have been finished. Chopper also knew the difference in strength between himself and the priest. Although there are still a lot of things I want to ask him, I'd better wait until he wakes up, and thank you. Sanji said to the ugly Pegasus next to him. The ship is broken like this. If you want to return to Angel Island, you have to wait until tomorrow. In short, go to the lake in the forest to camp first. Sanji said. Luffy still didn't understand why, so he asked, why? If the time comes to fight on the ship will really be destroyed. You won't use your brain, Usopp said to Luffy. And, compared to this, it's more convenient to fight on the shore. Sanji said. Okay, I approve of camping. Camping. I'm hosting a bonfire. Luffy and Chopper were inexplicably excited. Wait a minute, this is the enemy formation, camping your sister. Usopp couldn't help cursing. Okay. Let's bake and eat the empty shark just now. Luffy said excitedly. Next, Luffy got his wish to eat grilled fish, and everyone sat by the bonfire. It was a barbecue. Shu King then said, then, since we have been separated for a while, let's simply have an information exchange. Then everyone told what happened on their side, and everyone had a new understanding of Sky Island. Some people are interested in going township, and some people are interested in Shinwang. What is that? Zoro asked. I don't know, it should be regarded as a sixth sense. Sanji also guessed. Going. I've been looking forward to this kind of adventure for a long time. It's so exciting. Luffy was eager to try again, which, of course, just happened to fall into Nami's arms. That's right. I understood so quickly. Nami laughed proudly. Luffy, did you forget the gorilla warning? Usopp asked. Have you met those gorillas? Shu Kang asked. Yeah, but we didn't fight, just warned us. Sanji said. In general, these guys and we should all be enemies of Enel, and they can't be regarded as absolute enemies. Shu Kang said. Having said that, but the situation is not good, we still have to combat their arrogance. After all, in their eyes, we all have a superior attitude. Shu Kang then added. God is an enemy. God will be angry, right? Terrible, right? Chopper said timidly. Seems interesting. Robin Vivi Isho, without any fear. Sanji also echoed. How can pirates sit back and ignore the treasure now? The enemy is also strong enough. It seems that this will become a survival game. Zoro is also looking forward to it. I really want to give Enel a good beating and let him see my newly learned skills. Shu Kang was coaxed by the atmosphere, naturally expressing his true thoughts. Everyone, can't you show a little bit of fear for that god? I really don't care about it. Usopp burst into tears in an instant. Is that a god? Are your friends not afraid at all? Ahahaha. Good. That's the decision. Go to going, Luffy announced excitedly. Of course, Luffy was talking about tomorrow morning, not now. At night, Chopper and Zoro go to collect some edible ingredients. Sanji continued to add meals to everyone, cooking all kinds of local dishes, and also getting some distilled water for everyone. Robin got back some salt crystals, and Usopp looked for some wood for repairing the ship and planned to repair the ship. After that, Nami and the others started to summarize all the information and stories they already knew while eating Sanji's stew. By the way, they held a pre-war meeting. After all, everyone wanted to find Going Township tomorrow and end the trip to Sky Island. Everyone chatted a lot, and finally Robin came to the point. I remember the last sentence being, I saw Going in the right eye of the skeleton. That's it, Nami said. According to Shu Kang's intention, I adjusted the scale of the map that Robin got on Jaya Island to that of the original map of the Kingdom of God. Although it is only approximate, I will use these two maps. If you look at the location of the house along the coast, you see, this is the whole picture of Jaya Island 400 years ago. Quote. Everyone saw the appearance of a skeleton. It's a skeleton. Looks like a skeleton. Everyone said that together. Chapter 126_base, Seeking Collection. Seeking Silver Ticket. The third. If that's the case, then what is the right eye of the skull? Usopp asked. Right here, what Rolando wants to say is the whole picture of the island, but now there is only half of the island left, so no one can solve this mystery. Nami said. It took a long time to figure out what happened. Usopp understood completely. So it is. Zoro understood. Treasure. Treasure. Luffy was naturally even more excited now that he knew the location of the treasure. How do we get there? Shu Kang is not Liu Kai. He used to be very easy, but he still has a team. Then we just need to go straight in this direction, but during this period, we can't leave the boat alone, so we are divided into 2 teams to act today. Absolutely can't go wrong, there must be a huge number of goings waiting here. Follow us. Nami raised her glasses confidently. Nami usually does not wear glasses, of course, this time is an exception. After the discussion at the battle meeting, Shu Kang had an idea. He knew how to clone himself, so he planned to use the clone to protect Mary, and the main body and the other team looked for going together, so that neither side was delayed. This idea is naturally supported by everyone. After all, it seems that this is the most secure method. I'm full. Going to find tomorrow. Is it sunny tomorrow? Luffy asked. Of course, because we are on the cloud. By the way, the night is already deep, and we have to put out the useless fire. This will only let the enemy know where we are. Robin, who has been vigilant for many years, said. Luffy said unconcernedly. What nonsense, do you hear it? Usopp, she actually told us to put out the fire. I can't blame her. After all, Robin was a woman living in the dark not long ago. She just didn't know it. What Usopp and Luffy said made Robin very confused. What do you mean? Robin asked. Unexpectedly, Luffy and Usopp laughed wildly. When it comes to camping, there should be a bonfire party. People can die, but fire can't be put out. That's the way to be a human being. Usopp and Luffy said something like an idiot. Nami scolded. You give me enough time. You should know how dangerous this forest is, right? I don't know, Luffy said confidently. There are priests and gorillas. Even without these, the forest at night is already dangerous enough. Maybe there are beasts and monsters. As a normal person, Nami's thinking is naturally normal. Hey, Luffy, is this okay for the campfire stand? Zoro and Sanji have already prepared the campfire stand. Nami said speechlessly. How come you are so energetic? It doesn't matter, Miss Nami, it's better to say that beasts are most afraid of fire. Sanji said fearlessly. As a result, countless pairs of eyes flashed from the depths of the forest behind. Suddenly a wolf walked out of the forest, and Chopper translated it, which probably means, you are very noisy. The stinky boys, hurry up to sleep. Bunch of idiots. Don't you guys want to fight us for territory? No, we were forced here. Chopper was translating for everyone and passed on his meaning, but Nami finally smashed a wolf unconscious. At this time, the surrounding atmosphere is getting worse and worse, and countless wolves are already eyeing them, and they are ready to act at any time. The wolf who was talking just now stopped the wolves, and Chopper quickly translated for the comrades. Stop, even if you go together. You are not their opponent, miss. Your punch just now is really strong. I like you very much. Afterwards, Luffy started the bonfire party again. This time, not only the Straw Hats and his party attended the party, but also the surrounding packs of wolves. Robin looked at everyone with a smile at the end. Shuking slowly sat beside Robin and said, How are you, these friends? Interesting mate. I never thought my life could be like this, Robin said. Fool, anyone can choose their own life. What kind of person you become is not your ability, but your choice. Shu Kang said. Do I have a choice? I hope I have. Robin was a little worried when he spoke, but Shu Kang didn't notice it on purpose. At this time, a voice remembered. Has even the Cloud Wolf been tamed? Dare to make such a fuss on Enel's territory. I think only these guys are the only ones. The person who spoke was naturally the Sky Knight, the former god, Ganfer. Old man, are you alright? You never imagined that you would be so tired when dealing with a priest. Although Shu Kang was very disrespectful, he didn't mean to be disrespectful. Ganfort obviously understood, and immediately said, I'll take you as your concern. I'm fine. I've really caused you trouble. I originally wanted to save you. What is it? Enough is enough. If Chopper hadn't whistled and called you, Shu Kang wouldn't have rushed over. Zoro told the truth. Indeed, I can't predict every detail. Thank you, Sky Knight Ganfer. You saved Chopper and our ship, Shu Kang also thanked. Wow, weird old man, are you going to dance? Luffy asked. Is Miss Canis alright? Gonfure replied. Don't worry, the father and daughter are both in the old house, and no one can find them. That's it. Great. I'm worried about her, Sanji said. Great. They're all fine. Good. Everyone throw the choppers away. Usopp suggested. Why? Ha 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 ha. Chopper laughed immediately after being thrown. Everyone was playing together unscrupulously, playing around, having a bonfire party, and Shu Kang was also relaxed like never before. I heard what you said just now. The original name of this island is Gaia, right? Then you certainly don't know why this place is called Sanctuary now, right? Ganfer said. For you Blue Sea people, the ground here is a matter of course, right? But this is something that cannot exist in the sky. Although Shimayan can cultivate plants, it cannot allow plants to be born. Green leaves and soil are all, there is nothing in this sky, we call it Bass. Ganfer said, holding a handful of soil. For those who live in the sky, it is our eternal vision. Ganford told everyone about Bass's message, and the bonfire party gradually ended. Everyone ended up camping. Who was in the tent? Immediately afterwards, Usopp got up and seemed to be going to the toilet, but saw someone beating Mary, and it seemed that someone was repairing Mary. But in the middle of the night, who would it be? Usopp was puzzled and surprised. There should be no one on board. Chapter 127 _ The expedition departs. First change. Due to the fog, Usopp had a hard time seeing, but he was able to confirm that there must be someone on the boat repairing the boat. Usopp screamed, thinking he saw a monster, and collapsed to the ground in fright. After Zoro came out, he thought Usopp was asleep and carried him back. In the end, everyone fell asleep, but only Shu-King hadn't closed his eyes. Shu-King got up, walked slowly to Gonfuer, and asked, "Gonfuer, don't pretend to be asleep. Are you worried?" "Yeah, since you found out, then I'll get up." Ganford then slowly got up. "Your strength is very strong. I really don't know now, who is more powerful between you," Gonfuer said. "This, you have to fight to find out." Although Shu-King said so, but he was very confident in his heart. "I didn't expect your partner to be able to defeat Chadley, and now he is completely the enemy of Enel, and Shandia will never miss this great opportunity." "What does Enel want to do?" "I don't know, this guy is very strong. If you want to play against him, please be careful," Ganford said. "Understood, thank you for your concern," Shu-King agreed. The past, Shu-King may not be able to deal with Enel. After all, Enel is a Logia, but now armament is hardened, but he can actually touch him. Coupled with Shu-King's various powerful abilities, he naturally has 100% confidence. The night passed quickly. At dawn, Usopp discovered that the Mary had somehow been repaired by himself. "Look, I said there was someone yesterday," Usopp spit out. Everyone was also very surprised and said, "What? Going Mary, it has been repaired. I saw it. It really wasn't my dream. Even the broken mainmast has been repaired." "That didn't say." "Really, it's hard enough to put up such a heavy mainmast," said Robin. "However, to put it poorly, the repair is really bad," Sanji said. "There are still good people in this world." Ha! Luffy also felt very lucky. "Someone did come, I saw it," Usopp said again. "But, in this kind of frontier land, who will come to help us repair the ship? In this Apayado, besides us, aren't there only enemies left?" Zoro asked. "But then it's not airplane mode." "Usopp," Luffy said. "Yeah, I'm also very concerned about it." I said, "Why does the guy who helped us repair the ship know what the Mary originally looked like?" Usopp died at a loss. "To know that he has no coxcomb, no wings and no tail." "Who the hell did Usopp see?" Chopper also asked curiously. "No matter how you think about it, you can only say that it was just a dream." Zoro didn't quite believe it either. "I probably know who repaired it, but if you don't believe it, I still won't say it." Shu-King deliberately sold it off, but everyone still had a strong interest in the ship repairer. Shu-King said, "I think Mary repaired himself." After Shu-King finished speaking, everyone immediately lost interest. Everyone thought what Shu-King said was nonsense. How could the ship repair itself? Forget it, no matter how much, we still have a lot to do. Nami didn't care much about who repaired the boat, as long as it wasn't damaged. There were indeed many things that followed. The Mary was thrown on the altar before, and Shu-King flew over directly, and then used his own abilities to put the Mary down. After everything was ready, Nami started a simple explanation. "Okay, everyone, look at the map. The route of the expedition team is like this. Go straight to the south. There should be ruins in this right eye place. Of course, be careful of all kinds of enemies. Then take going with you. Come back," Nami said. "It's simple what you said." Zoro spat. "I'd be more than happy to ask me to investigate the ruins." Robin agreed. "What's the matter with you? Going is all about opening and closing, why don't you come?" Luffy asked. Yeah, because it's scary. Nami said. It's obvious that I really want going, but I don't want to take risks. Nama is so weird, so perverted. Chopper complained. What did you say? Nami's eyes changed, and Chopper shook his head in fright. During this period, we took the Mary to leave the island, which is also very dangerous, because we have to get to the coast near the ruins as soon as possible, and then we will meet there, and then escape Sky Island like this. Nami planned. At that time, we will be the Monopoly pirates. You can buy everything you want. Nami said. It's great. I can eat meat with an open stomach. Luffy said excitedly. In order to ensure the safety of the ship, I plan to use my clone to guard it. As I said before, if any enemy attacks in the middle, it will avoid a lot of trouble. Shu Kang said. Of course. Nami nodded, so that her safety was also guaranteed. By the way, Shu Kang, are there any restrictions on your clone technique? For example, will your strength be reduced? Or you can't control it if you are far away? Sanji asked with interest. No, it has the same strength as me, and is an independent individual. Of course, he is the product of my will, so there are no restrictions. Shu Kang replied. So, are we going? That's great. Afterwards, the Mary set sail again, and Shu Kang also used the wooden clone, leaving his clone on the Mary. Shu Kang's body naturally went on an adventure with Luffy and the others. In this very exaggerated jungle again, Zoro walked in another direction as he walked. Zoro, what are you doing? The west side is here. Really, I really lost to you, lunatic. Luffy couldn't help but complained. West, isn't it east? Chopper said speechlessly. Hey, Toll, why don't you listen to other people's words carefully? Since it's the right eye of the skeleton, of course it's on the right. Are you an idiot? Zoro also cursed. Shu Kang looked at Chopper, Chopper looked at Shu Kang and then said together, you two are really half a pound. We should go to the south. Chopper, please tell them both, if you don't know the way, just follow me. Shu Kang said to Chopper. Chopper nodded. Well, no problem. Robin looked at Shu Kang and smiled. These guys are really interesting, haha. Shu Kang looked at Robin and said. Afterwards, everyone regrouped again and walked towards the south. Oh, it's really peaceful. I haven't met half of the priests. It's really unfortunate. Zoro said as he walked. It's interesting. Do you all want enemies and accidents? Robin asked. Chapter 128-Encountering Longfang Orochi, Seeking a Silver Ticket. Seeking a Collection. The second. Chopper was smiling, but suddenly stopped laughing. Shu Kang also felt that something wasn't right around him, but he couldn't tell, so he didn't care so much. Everyone continued to move forward. It always felt like something wasn't quite right, Robin said. What is that huge tree root with a strange pattern? Luffy couldn't help but asked. Tree roots. Why do tree roots move? Zoro asked. It turned out that this was not a tree root at all, but the body of a snake. At this time, the giant snake spit out the snake letter and roared. Here, I encountered a giant snake, and on the other side of the Mary, the wounded Gonfure finally planned to spread some knowledge to everyone while they sailed. Let me tell you the history of this country. The old man was still a god until 6 years ago, Ganfur said. Did you hit your head? Uncle. Usopp thought Ganfur's brain was twitching. Pegasus immediately split in place, biting Usopp's head in one bite. Keep talking, keep talking. Shu Kang waved his hand, and the ugly genius let go. Thank you. Usopp looked at Shu Kang and immediately thanked him. Continued. Here Appajardo appeared in the territory of Sky Island. As you know, it is said to be 400 years ago, and it is said that the Sky Island before that was a very peaceful Sky Island, which was occasionally visited. The only materials from the blue sea that were shot up by the ocean current are very precious treasures to us people of the sky, and all the base on the Sky Island came to the sky by accident. Quote. However, it is impossible for a base as huge as Appajardo to come to the sky. It is simply a miracle. Of course, Luo, the people of the sky, has taken the flavor of this holy land given by the gods and felt very happy. But there are already Aboriginal people on Bath, so the battle around Bath started. Those Aboriginal people are the Shandians. Ganfor said. Are those gorillas? Usopp asked. So they were residents of Jaya Island before? Sanji asked. Yes, they must have been forced to follow the island into the sky, replied Ganfort. But you drove them off the island. Nami confirmed. Yes, the people of the sky took their hometown for their own selfish desires. For the next 400 years, the war between the people of Sandia and the people of the sky has not stopped, and the people of Sandia just want to take back their homeland. Hometown, Ganfor replied. That's really sad, Nami said. That's not your fault. Sanji and Usopp complained together, and then both were bitten into the mouth by Pegasus. That's right, as you said, thank you for your medicine, I'll take it first. As Ganfor took the medicine, Nami asked, so, what about God Enel? Where did God Enel come from? Ganfor then said, when I was still a god, he did not know which sky island he came from, and suddenly he led an attack, smashing the god team and the Shandians led by me, and then ruled Appa. Yado, that was 6 years ago, and now most of the members of the god team are doing coolies under Enel's forcing, and I don't know the details. But for the Shandians, no matter who is the god, the situation has not changed. They just want to take back their homeland. Ganfor said. Why did the Sandians who just want to take back their homeland attack us? When we were first in the sky? Sanji asked. The team of gods who were oppressed to do hard labor occasionally get a boat and escape. They are of course enemies to the Shandia people, so naturally they will not let them go, so they should be the wrong people. Really, it's too much to be stared at for your life just because you admit the wrong person. Sanji also felt a little unreasonable. The reason why the old man became a Sky Knight is to help those fugitives to escape to other Sky Islands smoothly, because they are criminals, so they can no longer stay in this country that is monitored by Enel. Ganfor said. Listen to what you said, God Enel is simply a terrifying great demon. Sanji said. Great demon king. No, it's worse than that. Enel will put people like you from abroad on false charges, and then let the residents of Sky Island guide them to the place of punishment, which will make people feel guilty. When people feel that their actions are sins when they were at their weakest, Enel knew that well, and made the lost lambs and ruled over them as if they were gods. Quote. He's really a tough guy to deal with, Ganfor said. So, this guy is not only strong in power, but also cunning in ruling others. Shu Kang's wooden clone also commented. That's it. Ganfort also nodded. When we first arrived at Angel Beach, we thought it was a paradise. Who knew it would be like this? The former Going Township has really flown to an incredible place. Nami also sighed a little. By the way, you kept talking about this last night. Going, what is it? Ganfor asked. The people on the boat were stunned. After all, there were very few people who had never heard of Going. At the same time on the expedition team, Luffy shouted, Flee. It's a python. Ah. Chopper and the others jumped up and down in fright. How can it be so big? Is it also because of the environment of Sky Island? Robin asked. This guy is like a catfish, watch me cut you. Zoro was about to make a move, and the giant python with strange patterns slammed over very quickly. This guy is so huge, why is he so agile? Zoro couldn't help saying. A monster of this level is not something that ordinary people can handle. Leave it to me. Shu Kang rushed out, a few times faster than the giant python. Wow, the giant python spit out a mouthful of venom, which can corrode anything. Shu Kang, Robin and Zoro shouted. Tu Dun Tu Lu Wall. Shu Kang had already used the Tulu Wall, and the huge earth wall blocked in front of him, isolating the venom, but soon, the earth wall was also corroded by the venom. What a strong venom. Lock you first. Mu Dun, all things are in the air. Shu Kang folded his hands together, and directly used the powerful Mu Dun ninjutsu. Countless entangled roots instantly grew out of the ground, grabbing the huge python. Wood Dun, 4-pillar prison technique. Shu Kang used his wood done again, and the giant snake was not only entangled, but also surrounded by huge wooden pillars. Let's retreat for now, we don't need to fight this thing here. Only after Shu Kang's words fell, did he realize that his comrades had already run away. Fantastic. Only Luffy was there, excited. What kind of move are you? Is it also your fruit ability? Chapter 129-Shinwang. The third. You said Mew done just now. That's a kind of ninjutsu only in the ninja world. Shu Kang told the facts. Such a big poisonous python was trapped by you so easily. It's really amazing. Luffy turned into a fanboy, very curious about the ninjutsu that Shu Kang just used. By the way, where did our partner go? Shu Kang noticed that except Luffy who was with him, everyone else had left. How can this be? Luffy, why don't we go to the destination for now? Maybe we will meet them. Shu Kang suggested. Okay, look for going. Luffy nodded. The two then set off towards their destination together. As for Mary's side, everyone was still moving slowly above the Cloud River. Due to the lack of wind, the Mary used the crow's impact shell as a driving force to slowly drive forward. At this time, Ganfer continued to tell everyone something. When I met you for the first time, the old man called himself a mercenary because you Blue Sea people couldn't keep up with the sky battle here. Sky battle? What do you mean? Usopp asked. Then put that bucket there, said Ganfer. Barrel. Although Nami was puzzled, she still did as he wanted. You look good, Ganfort said after he finished speaking. Try to break this shell with all your strength. It turns out that Ganfer put the shell on the bucket, hoping that everyone will smash it. Then Sanji smashed it down with a huge hammer, but the shell was not damaged in any way. I made you lighter, I didn't make you so much lighter. Usopp also said. No, I used all my strength, as if this shell absorbed all the shock. Sanji seemed to sense something. Then you align the shell with the empty barrel below and press the top of the shell on the reverse side, said Ganfer. Sanji did just that, and the barrel was smashed in an instant. This is the shock shell, which can absorb the shock given by the outside world and release it freely. Ganfer explained. It's usually used on the hand with a glove or a bracer, and if it hits in the right place, it's powerful enough to kill an average person, Ganfer said. This thing is not. Sanji remembered something. Yes, that dumpling priest, is the use of this ability. Usopp said. I heard that there were still more powerful shellfish on the ancient Sky Island, a kind of shellfish called platoon shell, which is on the verge of extinction. It can release 10 times the power of this shell, but because of the impact of the shell, the force is too strong, and even the user may be in danger. It is a double-edged sword. Ganfer explained. I want to ask, is this item a one-time consumable, or can it be used repeatedly? Shu Kang asked. It can be used repeatedly, of course, Ganfer said. The initial state is to record the impact, and then it can be released without restrictions. Then this thing, if you're familiar with it, it's really useful. Even Shu Kang couldn't help but nodded. Don't forget, this is a double-edged sword. If you don't use it properly, you will die. Ganfewer reminded him again. Shu Kang nodded and didn't say anything. No matter what it is, it depends on the person who uses it. For example, if the hot shell used to heat the rice is mounted on the gun, it becomes a gun of fire that can heat freely. The previous Knights of the Sky used this kind of gun. Weapons, said Ganfer. For example, put the flame shell that can store flames in the bird's mouth, and the rare fire-breathing bird is born. Ganfer said. Speaking of that kind of bird, Chopper also mentioned, is this the so-called Sky War? Usopp asked. Yes, it is impossible for the Blue Sea people who are not familiar with the types of shellfish to see through these tricks. The same is true for the numerous processing clouds. After the soldiers of Sky Island have been trained, they can use them flexibly. It is unknown. Of course the people here will be helpless, Ganfer said. Then, is there a reason why that person who can predict our actions is called Shinwang? Sanji asked. Heart net. That old man can't use it either, so I don't know how to explain it, but it is said that the heart-net momentum is a kind of listening ability. With this kind of sound, you can understand your opponent's next move, and if you exercise more, the range you can hear will become larger. God closes the door and can hear the voice of the entire EPUB, and Enel can hear the voice of the entire country. Only this power is still a mystery, and it is because of this power that the people of the entire country are restless all day long. Said Ganfer. However, I can probably talk about this ability. Shu Kang stood up at this time. Although I didn't fight Enel, I did fight one of the priests. The so-called heart network, on the one hand, is its own hockey, and on the other hand, it is due to Enel's fruit ability. He is the ability person of Guro Guro no Mi, Rumble Rumble Fruit. He has electromagnetic-like abilities. After using observation hockey, he can get blessings. As for the priests, it is estimated that he taught some hockey. Shu Kang said. Observation hockey. Hockey, what is that? Everyone seemed to know Shu Kang, so they asked. There are 3 colors of hockey: Conqueror hockey, observation hockey, armament hockey. It's too early to say these things. If you want to enter the second half of the Great Waterway, you must master hockey, because in the second half, there are so many Logia-capable people, and hockey masters are like crucian carp crossing the river. In Shu Kang's mouth, Enel's the ability does not seem to be very strong. But the enemy knows what we will do next, so how can we kill him? Usopp and others also continued to ask Shu Kang, trying to find a way to defeat the enemy. It's very simple, as long as the enemy is still predicting your actions, you have already killed him. No, that's fine. Shu Kang said lightly. And everyone felt that Shu Kang said nothing for a long time, but they were also more curious about Enel's abilities. Guro Guro no Mi, Rumble Rumble Fruit. What is it? Usopp asked. Really, I saw a person near EPUB, and he was swallowed by lightning in an instant. It must be his ability. Nami is still a little scared. That kind of power, how should it be countered? Usopp also seemed a little powerless. Even if you want to escape now, it's useless. I guess Enel wants to make a game. What do you mean? God Soldier, we Blue Sea people, Shandian people, after 3 hours, how many are left? Enel wants to play a battle royale-like game. Shu Kang smiled. He only wants 5 people left. Shu Kang also expressed his guesses about Enel. Chapter 130_See Enel for the first time. First change. What? 5 people. What about the others? Is this guy going to be killed? Usopp and the others shuddered instantly. Of course, don't forget that he is Enel. Shu Kang didn't say anything more after that. Everything seemed to be developing towards the result Enel wanted. The words were divided into 2 parts. At this time, Luffy was singing a song while walking on the right path with Shu Kang. I have to say, your singing is really ugly. Shu Kang said Luffy mercilessly, and Luffy, who was Vivi Isho, continued to sing. To this end, although Shu Kang was speechless, there was nothing else he could do. After walking for a while, Shu Kang seemed to sense something, and Luffy and Shu Kang also hid behind. Only one sound. Boom. A man with wings fell to the ground, and not far from him, there was a Shandian. You, what are you doing here? Although Shu Kang had never met the person who spoke before, he could basically guess his identity based on the temperament of the person in front of him. It's you. Luffy naturally remembered looking at the person in front of him. Didn't I advise you to leave this island quickly? The man said. You're annoying. I'm free to go wherever I go, Luffy said. Of course it's not your freedom, because this island is our Shandian land, the man said. Your name is Wiper, right? Shu Kang interrupted suddenly. Yes, Blue Sea. I don't seem to have seen you. Who are you? Blue Sea Chief, said Weber. Let's put it this way, but we can't leave until our mission is completed. I think our goals are the same. Shu Kang said. Mission. Goal. What are you talking about? Wiper didn't know what Shu Kang wanted to say. Your purpose is to drive away Enel, and ours is also to drive away Enel. Why can't we be together? Shu Kang said. Get rid of Enel. It's up to you. We don't need your help, but why do you want to help us for no reason? Weber seemed wary. We're for going, Luffy said bluntly. Going, it's that, so it's for that. Wiper's expression changed instantly, and he wanted to say something, but he suddenly said, forget it, I have nothing to say, and I don't want to listen to your nonsense anymore, just get rid of you. What? This is the easiest and most direct way. Luffy grinned Isho, obviously looking forward to this fight. Come on, the two of you, people from the Blue Sea. Wiper seemed to be the same as the other people from Sky Island, and didn't take Shu Kang and Luffy seriously. However, Shu Kang and Luffy both looked at Isho. Shu Kang said to Luffy, I leave it to you, this guy is too weak. That's great. Leave it to me. Luffy clearly wanted to take on Weber one-on-one from the beginning, and now he's got his wish. Then I'll go first and leave some marks for you along the way. Shu Kang didn't want to pay attention to this battle. As the protagonist of the pirate world, Luffy would naturally not be defeated by Wiper from Shandian. This battle, Shu Kang ignored directly, and the whole person walked towards the correct south at an extremely fast speed. After a while, Robin and others were found. You're here. Where's Luffy? Robin asked. I met an enemy and I was fighting, but I have no interest in my opponent. Shu Kang said. Dong, dong, dong. Shu Kang could feel the tremor in the forest, and the Shandia people and the divine soldiers, as well as the leaders of the Shandia people and the priests, were fighting. It seems that this forest is getting more and more lively. Robin said. Yes, the other partners are gone. Shu Kang said. Where is this place? Shu Kang looked around and found that the surrounding buildings were a little different from the huge trees in Appayado. This is supposed to be a residential house in the original city. It was swallowed up by the forest. I don't know if the urban relics that were bitten at the end are intact. Robin was talking, and suddenly a man dressed in white came to the house. Above. It's a woman. This road leads to the shrine of God. If you continue going, you are disrespecting God. Come down quickly. It seems that you don't quite understand the historical value of the so-called relics. Robin was a little angry for the first time. What are you arrogant about? What do you want me to do? What do you want to do? Robin asked very directly. I also asked what I wanted to do. I was ordered by God to use the slashing shells in my hand to clean up the Shandia people and you Blue Sea people. After the magic soldier finished speaking, Robin said directly. 6 flowers. Immediately afterwards, countless arms grew around the magic soldier. Robin crossed his hands, spread his palms, and said, Anchor flower. The magic weapon was broken in an instant. Robin held a piece of the ruins and said, It's too much. Captain Shu Kang, if you just made a move, I'm afraid that guy wouldn't even be able to destroy the ruins, right? Robin looked at Shu Kang and asked. Shu Kang Han Isho said, if I make a move, the entire ruins will disappear. That's right. Robin knows that Shu Kang's shot must be neither light nor heavy. At this time, a series of voices came from the forest. Shu Kang knew that, according to the plot, in this big melee, Zoro would meet the warriors of Shandia and finally win. And Chopper accidentally bumps into the priest. At this time, Shu Kang's wooden clone was already on the boat waiting for the arrival of the boss and Enel. Originally, everyone sailed normally on Mary, but soon after, a lightning flashed here. Hello everyone, I'm God Enel. Enel smiled and appeared on the spot. You bastard. Sanji rushed over, wanting to kick Enel away. However, Sanji was about to be struck by lightning in the next second. Shu Kang's wooden clone had already rushed out. Armament. Shu Kang used armament hardening directly, and the whole person resisted the thunder and lightning from the sky. Ah ha ha, what a surprise, you can actually hold my lightning. You must be among the Blue Sea people, and you are not ordinary people. Enel in front of him sat on the railing of the ship and said with a smile. Thank you. Sanji almost died, so he immediately expressed his gratitude to Shu Kang. It's okay, Sanji, back off. This guy, only Luffy and I can deal with it. Shu Kang waved his hand, and everyone backed away obediently. Don't worry, don't be afraid, I'm not here to harm you. Enel said slowly while showing a weird smile. Then what are you here for? Asked the original god Ganfer. Your tone is really cold, we haven't seen each other for 6 years, the god of the previous generation, Ganfer. Enel looked at Ganfer and said. Enel. Ganfer looked at Enel and naturally had a lot to say. Chapter 131 Vice Captain of Magic Weapon The second. Ganfer, don't you need to be so angry. We haven't seen each other for a long time, how about you look happy? Right, Ganfer, Enel said very flatly. Bastard, what did you just do to Sanji? If you dare to beg for mercy, I can consider letting you go. Usopp shouted. Shu Kang was a little speechless. Even though Sanji had nothing to do, Usopp still wanted to stand up for Sanji. As a result, it was naturally Enel who teleported to Usopp's side, ready to kill Usopp in seconds. However, Shu Kang naturally would not let Enel wish. When Enel stretched out his finger and wanted to discharge, Shu Kang also teleported to Enel's side and firmly grasped Enel's wrist. Stop, or I will kill you. Shu Kang said indifferently. What he said was like the truth. Kill me, you're a mere blue sea person, and you still want to be ashamed. Enel was very tall, so he looked down at Shu Kang from above. Shu Kang glared back at Enel without showing weakness, and then his eyes instantly opened with 3 hooked jade writing wheel eyes. Immediately afterwards, a magical scene happened. Enel suddenly discovered that Shu Kang's body had transformed into countless crows. What's the situation? Discharge. Enel kept discharging, only to find that he had also turned into a crow. Bang! Shu Kang kicked Enel flying, and Enel fell into the Cloud River. Everyone present was stunned. How could it be, even, giving Enel so easily? Nami didn't know what to say. What happened to that guy? Why didn't you move just now? It's like being stupid. Usopp also felt a little strange. Why does Enel feel so weak? Or what did Shu Kang do? Sanji couldn't believe it. This guy might really be able to take down Enel. Ganfer thought so too. What did you just do? Sanji couldn't help asking. It's nothing, it's just a trick, it's all a lie. Shu Kang prevaricates, and Enel reappears on the boat. Bastard, Blue Sea, what did you just do to me? Enel said angrily. Since you are fighting against me, don't look into my eyes, or you will be pulled into an illusory world by me. I will remind you. Others saw nothing of course, but only Enel would be cast an illusion as long as he stared into Shu Kang's eyes. Although Shu Kang is not currently a kaleidoscope, his eyes can still perform some common illusions. HMPH, your tricks don't work for me. I use lightning to stimulate myself and I can get rid of it. Is that only your ability? Enel was obviously not that easy to deal with. However, Shu Kang also smiled and shook his head. This is just the most basic illusion, just to destroy your prestige. Say, what do you want to say? Just take this opportunity to say it, because, soon, you will dead. As long as you don't say anything, I won't do anything. Enel said lightly, then returned to the position he had just been in. Nami and the others also covered their mouths in fear. For them, although Shu Kang was there, Shu Kang couldn't protect everyone's well-being. What the hell are you thinking? Ganfer asked. Remember, when we invaded this island 6 years ago, your men who were caught by us were still working hard for me, said the god Enel. The god team led by the old man. Ganfer replied. They are really a group of excellent talents. However, the big project that took 6 years is almost coming to an end. At the same time, this also means that this island is useless to me. I am here to say goodbye to you. Yes, that's all, Enel added after he finished. However, the residents of these Sky Island are really simple-minded, because they only think of this island as a huge bath. What do you mean? Ganfer asked. The reason we took this island by force is the same as the reason why the flies of the Blue Sea set foot on this island. and the reason why the Shandians insist on returning to their homeland, that is to say, everyone is eager to everything you get on this island is the same. Quote. Enel said, I just want to find the legacy of Shandora, the city of going that flourished in the blue sea in the distant past. Going. What are you talking about? God Ganfor didn't know what going was not long ago, so naturally he didn't know the meaning of this sentence. Ha ha ha, that's why I said that you were simple-minded. Whether going exists or its value, the only people who don't know about it are you who live in this country. Unfortunately, as soon as the game comes up, it is the final battle. Only those who win in this survival game are eligible to get that large amount of going. Do you hear the noise of this lively festival? To be honest, I was one of the participants, so I had to go, Enel said. Wait, Team God, has Team God been released? Ganfor asked. Then only God knows. Blue Sea people, your name is Shu King, right? Enel asked. Next time, I'll kill you. Enel said with a swoosh and disappeared, unable to catch up. Shu King was cold to Isho. The reason why he didn't take action this time was that it was not yet time to deal with Enel. After all, he was just a wooden clone. Even if you can use armament to resist, the body is still wood, and it is easy to disappear when there is too much electricity. At this time, a pair of people who looked exactly the same appeared on Mary, and the two seemed to be magic soldiers. Who are you? Nami asked. We are not who we are. We are the deputy commander of the soldiers, you actually gave Big Brother sadly. The two said very funny. Big Brother, what do you mean? Nami naturally didn't know. Luffy Sanji and Usopp killed a priest, that is sadly. Shu Kang said. I admit it. My name is Zongwu. My name is Xiao Wu. The eldest brother of our triplets was killed by you. I don't know your big brother. Nami shook her head. Sanji, Usopp and Shu King stood up and said, we are the ones who dare to act. Absolutely can't forgive you. The two captains were ready to fight. At this time, Ganfort had almost recovered, and shouted, Pierre. Then the Sky Knight Ganfor also participated in the battle, 4v2, everyone obviously has the advantage of the absolute team in terms of numbers. Go ahead and beat them and go after Enel, don't know what that guy will do to his old men. It's very simple if you want to be faster, you all step back. Shu King took a step forward by himself, as if he had something to do. Chapter 132 Enel's survival game, please collect. Please. The third. What are you trying to do? We should beat them quickly, Gunfer said. Yeah, so far, this is the fastest speed. Shu King walked forward slowly, obviously ready to enlarge. Shu King, don't break Mary. Everything else is fine. Usopp immediately shouted. Shu King said, of course. Next, just watch my performance. Instant. Shu King's wooden avatar is naturally able to perform the teleportation technique, using the super high-speed moving telekinesis to reach the extreme. Even if it is predicted by observation hockey, it has no meaning. Boom, boom. Armament wrapped in black, and immediately, two spiral pills condensed in his hand. The spiral pill in the left hand and the right hand quickly turned into a big jade spiral pill, and then Shu King directly arranged it to the two deputy captains of the magic weapon. Due to the high speed and the fact that Shu King's three-hooked jade writing wheel eyes locked the opponent, Shu King's double helix pills instantly attacked the two people, and the two people's bodies flew out and fell in the sea of clouds. Everyone was dumbfounded. How long did it take Shu King? 3 seconds. Or 5 seconds. Actually killed the opponent in seconds. This guy has strength. What the hell is going on? It looks like the clouds are light and the wind is light, and you don't use your full strength at all. Shu King's strength was once again recognized by everyone. At this time, Shu King was also exploring ancient ruins with Robin. This is the monument of the city's consolation. It should have been built by their descendants after the city's demise. Sandora, this is the name of the ancient city. See Circle Calendar, 402 years. About 1,100 years ago, the city was prosperous for a while, and the time of its demise was 800 years ago, which is exactly the same as not staying in this world, and it is 100 years blank. Is this island? No, the lost history that was interrupted on the ground. This is the map of Sandora. If you go to the city center, you may be able to know more things, and maybe you can find lost historical sites. Robin looked at Shu King and said, "Okay, let's go. If you want to go first, I'll stay." Shu King said. "Why?" As soon as Robin's voice fell, a male voice appeared. "This is really a lovely lady. I am the commander of the gods who serve the god Enel, Dashan." Dashan said to Robin. "Why are you looking for us, Mr. God Soldier?" Robin asked. "Stop talking nonsense." When Dashan's voice fell, Shu King said immediately, "Robin, stand back, this guy is handed over to me. Don't destroy the ruins. Shu King, please." Shu King didn't expect that Robin was thinking about protecting historical relics when he was alive and dead, and he had a greater affection for Robin. "Understood, since that's the case, let's use this trick." Shu King folded his hands together and said directly, "Wu dun, all things in the forest." Immediately afterwards, countless plants protruded directly from the ground, and the branches and vines on the plants immediately wrapped around the mountain god soldier in front of him. "Humph, that's all." Full of fists, Dashan broke free from the shackles of Mu Dun in an instant and slammed heavily on the ground. It turns out that Mu Dun can extract the enemy's chakra. The enemy in this world does not have chakra, so with great strength and some special abilities, I can completely escape Mu Dun. I was sloppy. Shu King also instantly understood something. If that's the case, then I have no choice but to use Feng Dun to practice empty bombs. Shu King used Feng Dun, one of the Hokage's tails. The power of this wind escape is very great, and it is natural to spray the mountain in front of you to the ground with one shot. Devil's Grip. Shu King grabbed the opponent just like that, and the devil's hand tightly held the enemy in his palm. It's too inhumane to pinch you directly. It depends on your own life. Shu King then used all his strength to throw the mountain in his hand into the air. In the end, the mountain didn't know where it went. Shu King then turned around and apologized. "I'm sorry, Robin, but let him spoil a bit." "It's alright, you've done a good job, thank you." After Robin finished speaking, he and Shu King walked towards the city center of Sandora. While Nami was driving normally, she suddenly heard a loud bang, followed by a very loud horn. "Miss Nami, Hasso," a female voice called. "Wow, Miss Angel, you're here." Sanji's eyes turned into love again. "Kanis, uncle, why are you here?" Nami felt a little disbelieving. "Who is that kid?" Shu King pointed at the kid on the boat. The child was obviously very vigilant to the others, and said that he was a warrior of Shandia. "This little guy is called Aisha. Let's get down to business. We opened a road at sea and used a new river made of Yunbei. From here, we can directly enter Beibaihai, before being discovered by the enemy." Uncle Paigea quietly said. "By the way, you are talking so mysteriously, why is the horn so loud?" Shu King couldn't help but complain. "I'm sorry, I was hasty. By the way, I still have one thing to give you." Then he sent Jaya to return the repaired Waiba to Nami and others. "Is this still the Waiba we picked up?" Sanji was also surprised. "Yeah, uncle, you are too strong. You've cultivated so well," Usopp also praised. "Wow, great." Nami was naturally very excited. "And this Waiba is not an ordinary Waiba, its power is extraordinary," Uncle Paige said. At this moment, Shouty and Aisha suddenly fell to the ground, crying and showing great pain. Nami, Shu King and others were also very puzzled, and immediately went up to ask, "What's going on? You suddenly between. The voices are going away. A lot of people are gone," Elsa said. "It should be Enel, right?" Shu King affirmed. "It's been 2 hours since the survival game, shouldn't a lot of people have been eliminated?" Shu King said. "This guy is really a pervert." Sanji cursed. At this time, Nami had already mastered Waiba perfectly, and Uncle Paige and Kanis couldn't help but praise him. "By the way, what should we do now?" Uncle Peja asked. Nami looked at Shu Kang. Shu Kang said, "You decide, navigator." Nami stuck out her tongue and said, "Anyway, let's drive the boat to the agreed coast first. I think they should be fine. In short, as long as they are together, no one is their opponent." Aisha said, "There is no group of 4 on this island, it's just a group of 2 at most. If there are 4 people acting together, I will definitely feel it." Nami then looked at Shu Kang. The meaning was obvious. "It's Xinhuang, Aisha, can you feel, who feels very similar to me?" Shu Kang asked. "Yes, there was someone who felt exactly like you, and now he's with someone," Elsa said. "I guess they got separated," Shu Kang said. Chapter 133 _ The Ancient City of Sandora. For silver. First change. However, Nami still looked at Aisha in amazement and said, "Xinhuang, is it a skill of priests and gods?" Aisha said with tears in her eyes, I have a heart network when I was born, that's why I'm afraid. You don't understand how terrible it is to keep disappearing voices." "Are you crying again?" Nami asked. "I didn't cry. Idiot. Blue sea people. Idiot," Aisha also said strongly. "Aisha's vibra seems to be broken, and we happened to pass by when it was attacked by an air shark," Kanis said. "What do you want to do?" Nami felt that this child must have wanted to do something to go so far alone. "I don't know, but I can't do nothing, right? Lackey, everyone." Aisha is still immersed in grief. "Shu Kang, friends, are you really safe?" Nami asked Shu Kang a little worriedly at this time. Shu Kang nodded and said, "Don't worry, that's my main body. Although the main body is separated from everyone, he must believe in everyone, so he will be separated from everyone." And Shu Kang and Robin also officially walked towards the city center of Sandora. Robin looked at a book, then looked around and said, "This should be the city center. But it doesn't match the map of the memorial monument. Is it because of the impact from the sky that the city was torn apart?" Robin and Shu Kang then went through the ancient tunnel together. After passing through, Shu Kang and Robin saw the towering buildings in front of them. Although most of them had been eroded by plants, they could still see their former glory. Walking in front of an inscription, Robin crouched down and began to record something. Shu Kang, on the other hand, had nothing to do and was vigilant about the surroundings. Maybe Enel would appear around them. After searching for a while, Robin asked, "It's really strange, is this the former going city of Sandora? The size and terrain are completely different, and the most unnatural thing is, as long as there is an entrance above." "Did you say?" Robin then began to quickly walk up the steps. Robin, who was immersed in his own world, walked quickly, while Shu Kang followed Robin behind him. Immediately afterwards, Robin entered the palace above the steps and started digging with the fruit power. Shu Kang naturally helped along, and soon Robin found that he could go downstairs. "Shu Kang, come together." After Robin finished speaking, he jumped off. Shu Kang also jumped straight down, but he didn't expect that there would be such an open scene in the ruins. Sure enough, there is still a cave in this ruin. It is clearly the ruins of the Blue Sea, but it is surrounded by Daoyun. I think it is very expensive. It turns out that the upper-level ruins are only the upper part of the city exposed after Daoyun's dormitory. There should be more below. Robin said. Well, at a glance, the vicissitudes of life, the splendid city has also come to such an end, let's go see it together. Shu Kang was also very interested in the old town of Going. The two kept walking down the road, pushing aside the vines, and finally, Robin saw a hole. "Ah," Robin said excitedly. "Kang, hurry up." Shu Kang didn't expect Robin to run so fast, so he was stunned after following him together. The sun is extremely dazzling, and this underground ruins actually hides a very majestic ancient city. 800 years ago, the sudden demise of the capital of Sandora, I didn't expect it to be like this, and it is still so spectacular and majestic. This is the city of Going, Sandora. When Robin spoke, he could feel her excitement. That's right, There must be a historical text here. Shu Kang probably remembered that there should be an inscription that records the historical text. There. Soon Robin found the historical text, but after walking over, Robin found that this was not the historical text, but recognized the person who wrote the word. Robin touched it and said, "It's so simple and unpretentious, the ancient characters of the historical text, the people who can write this text, apart from the people who wrote the historical text, there should be no other people, keep the true meaning in your heart. Keep silent, we are those who weave history, with the bells of the great bell tower." Quote. Yes, there is indeed a huge going bell here, as recorded in Rolando's journal. All the books in the town have been burned, and the history of the city has been cut off. Robin didn't know whether to say to himself or to Shu Kang. The historical text was transported to this city for storage. That's absolutely true. This city once fought against people who were hostile to him. Going city Sandora, it turned out that the battle to protect the historical text led to its demise. If it is true in this case, there must be a text that tells the real historical text in the big clock tower located in the center of the four altars. Maybe it is the real historical text. Robin and Shu Kang then walked towards the position of the big clock tower. But after a while, Aunt Mary, Elsa burst into tears again and said, "The sound is gone again." Aisha. Everyone felt that something was wrong with the child. "I can't stay here anymore, I'm going to find Lackey and the others." Aisha then jumped off the boat impulsively. Wait a minute. No, Nami's persuasion didn't make much of a rush, and Elsa had already jumped off Mary. Really? Nami also took off her top and jumped into the water to chase after Aisha. After Shu Kang and the others heard the sound, they came out and found that Nami had captured Aisha. What? Let me go. Let me go. What I want to do is up to me. Elsa struggled, but Nami naturally held on tight. Although I don't care about my business, I can't just let me die, can I? Besides, you are still a child. I am a warrior. Okay. I know you are a warrior. Even if you stare at me, I will not be afraid. Nami advised. After persuading for a long time, Nami sent Aisha back to Waiba. At this time, the huge poisonous python just now appeared in front of everyone. Ah, no way. Both Nami and Aisha were taken aback. Damn, what kind of snake is this? It's so huge. Sanji was also a little surprised. Why is there such a beating guy? Nami and Aisha were dumbfounded. I can only rely on Shu Kang's avatar to fight this kind of guy, so hurry up. Usopp naturally pushed Shu Kang out. It's you again. Huh, why should I say it again? Shu Kang looked at the huge poisonous python in front of him, but neither of them made any movement. Sharing eye. After Shu Kang opened the sharing eye, he found that there was a life reaction in the belly of the poisonous python. Isn't it? Was Luffy swallowed by the poisonous python? Shu Kang also doubted. Chapter 134 by Jing Death Race. The second. At this time, the poisonous python began to go crazy, and it seemed to be very painful. Ah, help! Nami and the others suffered. Hurry up to use Waiba to run around, and being attacked by such a giant python is not a joke. That's the forest over there. Pygea shouted. It was too late. Nami, Aisha and the others had already gone to the forest. Damn, you protect the uncle and Miss Angel, I will come when I go. Shu Kang then flew directly and rushed in the direction of the giant python. Shu Kang flew towards Nami and the others like this. Protecting Nami and Aisha was naturally the task of Shu Kangmu's clone. At this time, the python was suffering from all kinds of attacks from within himself, so he started to go crazy. The most lively place at this time is naturally the bottom of the Shrine of God. At this time, the priest, the Shandian, the former god, the Straw Hat group, and the huge python began to prepare for a big melee. Shu Kang finally caught up with Nami. Nami. It's Shu Kang. What happened to Enel's subordinates at the back? Shu Kang replied, in the process of chasing you just now, I thought they were in the way, so I solved them. Let's go back. Wait, what is that? Nami saw the huge bean sprouts in front of her. That's a giant bean sprout, and Enel's shrine should be on top of that. Elsa said, and Elsa's heart twitched. Wepper is there. He's alive. Let's go. Zoro, Luffy and Uncle Sky Knight are also there. We better not look back. Shu Kang said. There was no other way. Nami could only continue to rush forward. Shu Kang knew that although he had dealt with some of the divine soldiers himself, he was afraid that more would gather in a while. Enel's purpose was to gather everyone in the upper ruins, and then watch everyone kill each other, and finally bring the survivors with them. 5 people, go to the infinite continent. At this time, Nami, Shu Kang and others had already appeared in the upper ruins, and Shu Kang also saw everyone. Catch them, absolutely can't let them get close to the Shrine of God, said the divine soldiers chasing Shu Kang and the others. Bastard, it's really annoying. Shu Kang then said with a seal, fire escape, function fire technique. Boom, the small flame balls rushed towards the magic soldiers behind him. Shu Kang had already opened the writing wheel, and he had completely locked the magic soldiers behind him. Therefore, these flames fell on the divine soldier very accurately. Ah, what's the matter? This guy can actually summon flames. Could it be the devil fruit's power? Ah. Under the sudden attack of Shu Kang Huodun, these divine soldiers were also killed and wounded. Wiper saw Aisha, Zoro saw Nami and Shu Kang. Elsa, what are you doing here? Weber asked. Nami, Shu Kang, aren't you on the boat? Zoro asked. What are you trying to do? Blue Sea people, get out of Elsa. Wiper shot Nami indiscriminately. Ganfer quickly took Nami and Asia away. Elsa also scolded. Devil. Wiper, you are a devil. Why are you here? Ganfort asked. Because there was an oversized snake. Nami just finished speaking, and she and the Sky Knight were swallowed into the mouth of the snake. Look at you, what good things have you done? Shu Kang looked at Wiper and couldn't help cursing. Not because, you Blue Seas. Weber insisted. These fools. Zoro was also very embarrassed, but he didn't expect his partner to be swallowed in one bite. At this time, a priest launched an attack on Zoro and Wiper at the same time, and said, you are all in trouble now, and you are still caring about others here. Save it, anyway, no one of you can be saved. Shu Kang was not too worried about everyone's comfort. There was Luffy in the belly of this snake, and it was good for everyone to get together. Let me give these two a treat. Next, it's you, Blue Sea people. The priest in front of him looked at Shu Kang and said. To deal with me, is it up to you? Although this Shandian is not a comrade in arms, he is not an enemy. In that case, I will help him. Are you ready? Shu Kang pressed his hands together, planning to start a fight with the priest. That's it. Shu Kang was about to shoot but saw Chopper who was dying. I'm sorry, wait a moment. Shu Kang couldn't take care of others, and immediately teleported to Chopper's side and started medical treatment using the Palm Immortal technique. Let's get in the way for the time being, then let me give them the final blow, said the priest. Oh, you bastard. How dare you give Weber to? Some Shandia warriors are ready to protect Weber. Is this man who is like dust in front of God really so important to you? Said the priest called Om. Weber is our heart. We carry the glory of Shandia together. In order to regain the homeland that was taken away. You, Enel's pawn, cannot understand the fetters of Shandia. Said the people of Shandia. Even if I could understand, there would be no sympathy or empathy for you guys, which is to say, it's completely pointless. Om was also ready to fight. Go to hell, Om. The Sandians began to attack Om. Who knows, in addition to Om, there are still a few magic soldiers left at this time. Om also has a dog named Shungi that can stand on both feet. Holy, just use that trick, Om said. Then Shungi quickly jumped into the air and drove those Shandia warriors into a cage. This is the true face of the Iron Trial, the Beijing Deathmatch, said a magic soldier. Even if you don't trap us, we will never escape. Zoro got up slowly after recovering. Idiot. Not only can you not escape, but the thing is surrounded by white thorns. So what? Zoro asked. That is to say, it's definitely not going to be safe, right? Wiper kicked the magic soldier on top of the white thorns, and then the magic soldier was killed directly. Where do I get out after I've got everyone out? Zoro asked. Isn't it better to wait until you've dealt with it before you think about it? Ohm said. And 9 and 2, Ohm said. We have to figure out a way to deal with that python. Nami is there, and Chopper's savior. As for Wiper thinking about Elsa at this time, a Shandia woman suddenly appeared. Lackey. Wiper, listen to me, I'm here to speak to the mantis. Run away. Weber, don't fight, Enel is in the woods. Enel is the thunderbolt itself that humans have feared as gods since ancient times. Get out of here, Weber warned too. Hello. Lackey heard thunder and lightning behind him. Chapter 135-1 Kick to Fly Enel. For silver. The third. When Lackey turned around, Enel was already behind her. Are you calling me? Enel asked indifferently, the corners of her mouth slightly raised. Enel. Don't do this. Enel, stop it. At this moment, Weber's heart was numb. She's given up the fight. Weber begged bitterly, holding on to the white thorns with blood, but still unmoved. Lackey, don't shoot him. Lackey, run away. Weber yelled. Boom. Lackey fired 2 shots, but the bullet penetrated Enel. After all, Enel is a Logia capable, and elementalization is a very basic ability. Lackey looked nervous and didn't know what to do. At this time, a magic soldier attacked Weber from behind, and Weber remained indifferent. Run away. Hey la la la. Enel was about to kill Lackey in seconds, and a figure appeared beside Enel again. At this point, the man firmly grasped Enel's wrist again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Enel's body was clearly charged, but the figure was still standing. How is this possible? He actually endured Enel's lightning. Who is this person? Lackey was also stunned. It's you again. Enel was clearly impressed by Shu Kang. I'm sorry, I should have told you last time that I won't be merciful to you next time I see you, right? Shu Kang said lightly. No way. This guy threatened Enel. The white thorns are here, how on earth did he get out? Divine Soldier and Priest Ohm were also quite puzzled. Just now Shu Kang was still in his own cage. Why did this thing have no image of Shu Kang at all? What? The mere Blue Sea people are so outspoken here. It was only 10 million volts just now. Do you want to taste my stronger power? No matter who challenges me, I will never let him go. Enel was about to make a move when Shu Kang said immediately, wait a minute. I'm afraid now. Let me hear what you have to say. Enel's brows narrowed. I want to ask, do you have any last words? If not, you can die. Shu Kang said lightly. Although Shu Kang was just a wooden clone at this time, he still had his own arrogance. Go to hell. 20 million volts. Enel's whole body was directly discharged. This time the power was twice as strong as before. Even Shu Kang's wooden avatar was scorched all over his body. Seeing that Shu Kang was hurt this time, Enel was very proud and continued to strengthen his lightning power. 30 million volts. Thunderbird. Enel directly used his own little trick this time. He tapped the drum on the right, and thunder and lightning appeared from the drum, and then the Thunderbird turned into a phoenix and flew towards Shu Kang at high speed. Asura. Shu Kang pulled out his Asura. Although it was a wooden clone, his weapon still retained a lot of its previous power. Shu Kang pulled out Shira and blocked it directly in front of him. At the same time, a demonic shadow formed around his body. Interesting, is this your devil fruit ability? I said that you are not an ordinary person, and it seems so. Enel somewhat understood Shu Kang's ability. However, in the next step, Shu Kang's actions broke Enel's cognition once and for all. Wood done. 4-pillar prison technique. Wooden, all kinds of things. Ninja, shadow clone technique. Ninjutsu, the technique of 5 consecutive bullets. Shu King first used the 4-pillar prison to trap Enel, then used all kinds of things to entangle Enel, and then used the shadow clone to create 4 clones, and finally used the 3-generation eyes 5-barreled technique. Such a series of attacks fell on Enel. Although Enel could use his elemental ability to evade, don't forget that Shu King can do armament hockey. In other words, Shu King used so many ninjutsu. The purpose is not to really attack Enel, but to wait for the moment when Enel becomes elemental and reveals flaws. Sure enough, Enel smiled. Yeah, ha ha ha. I'm a god. No matter how powerful a mortal's attack is, it can't touch me, don't you understand? Even if you are already strong, in front of me, you no chance at all. Really, Shu King succeeded in his trick, took advantage of Enel's elementalization and flew out, and then kicked him. Blessed by the power of the devil, Shu King's wooden avatar's full-strength kick broke Shu King's wooden avatar. Shu King's clone has been maintained for a long time, and now the chakra has been consumed almost, and he can only do the output of the last blow, and this last blow is really too strong. I didn't expect that he almost kicked out a kick. Season finale. Enel was completely stupid, he never thought he would be kicked away. Enel's brain went blank, and a mouthful of blood spewed out, clearly the worst injury he'd ever suffered. As soon as the wooden clone disappeared, Shu King gained all the intelligence and information. This guy, Enel, probably won't be able to come back for a while, let's explore with confidence. The corner of Shu King's mouth raised Vivi. Only he and Enel understood how exaggerated the power of that kick just now was. At this time, in the upper-level ruins, the melee continued, but the morale of the magic soldiers on Enel's side had obviously suffered a devastating blow. Their serious and undefeated god was kicked away by a blue sea man. And it didn't come back. What does that mean? However, you dared to attack the gods, and now you are punished by God, right? Priest Om thought that Shu King would attack the god Enel at the cost of his death. At this time, Zoro and Wiper both focused their attention on the python, and they rushed to the python at the fastest speed. The purpose was to save everyone who had been swallowed before. However, the priest Om at this time, and his pet dog Shungi, would not let the two save their companions so easily. 6 and 2 left, Om muttered to himself. The belly of the python. Luffy also met Nami and Ganfor Aisha, and everyone chatted with each other. Going City, Shandora, should be located in the center of the going clock, but there is no going clock. The clock tower of that clock may be engraved with historical texts. If I am not wrong, this city was destroyed to protect historical texts. Yes, where it should be hidden now, the bell tower with the text. If that's the case, where is it? Hey, this is the minecart track. Robin looked at Shu King, who was also a little confused. I don't know. Shu King shook his head. Finally there is something you don't know about. Robin smiled and observed. There are traces of moving something. It is still very new. What exactly has it been moved? Maybe it's going. Shu King guessed. Chapter 136 _ boring survival game. For silver. First change. Ahahaha, it's wonderful. Even if it was rushed into the air, it is still such a magnificent city, Sandora, ahaha. If the legendary capital is covered in clouds, it will not be able to show his heroic appearance. I discovered it. The idiots of the previous generation didn't even notice this city at all. Enel who spoke, but when Enel saw Shu King, he was stunned again. Blue Sea Man, Shu King, aren't you shattered? Why are you here again? Enel looked at Shu King and couldn't calm down for a long time. Amazingly, when Enel spoke, he didn't notice Shu King's existence. What did you say just now? It's just my avatar. I know everything that happened just now. It doesn't matter. You can ignore my existence for a while and say whatever you want to say. Shu King didn't put Enel in the slightest. Eyes. Who is this person? Robin had never seen Enel, and although he had guessed the identity of the person in front of him, he was still unsure. I am a god, Enel introduced, looking at Shu King warily. Your partner is also amazing. She must be an archaeologist, right? It took me several months to discover this ruin. If I could read the text on the ruin, I could find it so easily. Enel was clearly interested in Robin. But the going you want is gone. You are a few years late, Enel said. Going? You didn't see them, did you? Robin asked. That's really a good thing. Those shining techniques, only I deserve to have. Enel said. And the going bell that was supposed to be here too? Robin asked. Going bell. Enel thought back, as if not impressed. Robin was a little happy and thought, this guy doesn't know. At this point Enel ate the apple in his hand and said, I'm very interested, what did you know after reading the text? No, it's a pity, if you didn't see it when you came here, then he just didn't come up to the sky, the huge going bell that Shandora is proud of, and the big bell tower that houses him, what I'm looking for is the bell tower. Robin replied. No, wait, yes, there is that, and it came to the sky, 400 years ago. When this island took to the sky, that is, on the day that the island of the gods, Apayado was born, it is said that the loud bells spread throughout the country, but the old people on this island called it the song of the island. So, is that clock made with going? It's wonderful, the game is about to end, there are 8 minutes left, so let's look for that going clock all over the country, ha 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 ha. Enel laughed. At this time, Robin looked at Shu Kang, and Shu Kang also understood what Robin meant. Since the clock tower going is here, the historical text should also be here. However, Enel was suddenly absent-minded at this time. It seems to have found some enemy intrusion in the surrounding area. There seems to be a maggot on the edge of the island. Immediately afterwards, Enel stretched out his hand towards the sky, and then the whole body emitted endless lightning, and finally, Enel released the lightning. However, at the same time, Shu Kang made another move. Wind escape, great breakthrough. Among the 5 elements of escape, Feng Tele is also the same in the world of pirates. Shu Kang's breakthrough actually disrupted Enel's ability. It was obvious that Enel didn't hit the target he wanted to hit. People from the Blue Sea. Shu Kang, do you want to die? Enel looked at Shu Kang with a very serious expression. What was he doing just now? Robin also seemed to realize that something was wrong and asked immediately. He was going to deal with our partner just now, but I stopped him. Don't worry, this guy will never hurt our partner because I'm here. Shu Kang felt quite reliable at this time. At this time, Enel looked at Shu Kang and said, the game is almost over, it's almost time, let's make a break, the final plan is about to be implemented. Final plan. Robin was also a little puzzled. God is calling you. At this time, Enel once again raised his hand above his head, using his heart net to issue an order, assemble. Common people. Immediately afterwards, Enel's whole body flashed again and again, making Robin unable to open his eyes. Discharge, Enel said. This time Shu Kang did not stop Enel, but quietly watched Enel perform. I have to say that the power of Enel's discharge is still very amazing, and the entire upper-level ruins seem to be affected by Enel's move. What are you doing? Robin asked suspiciously. I'll call your companions again to this Shandora, said Enel. This man is Logia's ability, what an amazing power. Robin couldn't help but sigh, but for some reason, Robin's heart, Vice Admiral Shu Kang, compared with the Enel in front of him. Bin still felt that Shu Kang was stronger. Due to Enel's discharge, the entire upper ruins began to collapse in various ways, and images were taken of the Shandians fighting below, as well as Zoro and the giant python. Ahahaha, let's go to the finale. Enel shouted excitedly. At this time, Shu Kang did not stop Enel. Enel's original intention was to gather everyone, not to kill everyone. However, then, due to the collapse of the upper-level ruins, the familiar faces just now appeared here together. At this time, Enel saw this huge python and said directly, annoying snake. Then a thunderlight was released directly, and the giant python was hit in an instant, and then his whole body was scorched by lightning and lightning. At this time, Weber saw Enel, and naturally launched an attack directly. Nami, Zoro, Robin, Shu Kang, and Chopper, who received medical treatment, all woke up at this time. Ah ha ha, the game isn't over. Yeah, boring game. You and the people behind you are all participants. Enel naturally told Weber. A group of Straw Hats led by Luffy walked out from behind Wiper. Welcome, honorable survivors, you have worked so hard to get here, let me praise you. Ha ha ha, it's nothing, it's just a small game. 3 hours after you set foot on this island, 82 how many of them will survive the game without incident, and I'm including that, Enel said. Although there are halfway participants, I also admit that he is eligible. My prediction is that there will be 5 survivors. In 3 minutes, it will be 3 hours. That is to say, there are not 5 people who appear here. You should know what will happen, right? Chapter 137_Fight Enel again. The second. God's prophecy can never fail, because it's absolute, so who wants to disappear? Enel asked. Or do you do it yourself? Or do I do it myself? Enel asked. Shu Kang stepped forward and said, Wiper, Zoro, Robin, me, Ganfer, aren't they just 5 people? Do you think I'm stupid? My heart has noticed that there are 2 more people, Enel said. Shu Kang felt that Enel must be talking about Nami and Chopper. Chopper was because Shu Kang had just been rescued, and Nami had been hiding since she ran out of the python's stomach and never came out. She thought she was well hidden. Enel watched the crowd and looked at them all. Afterwards, everyone aimed their weapons at Enel. Just go away. Everyone said in unison. Enel gave a wicked smile and then said, bold, ah ha ha ha. Want me to disappear? This is true, ah ha ha ha. Enel laughed like he heard a very funny joke. As expected of the survivors of the game, but you don't seem to understand who you are talking to. It seems that you still don't understand the existence of the so-called gods, the old immortals who long for the happiness of Sky Island, and the warriors who want to take back their hometown. Blue Sea thieves with the idea of going, although in this world full of troubles, it doesn't matter what Gao Yang wants to get, but the country itself has mistakes. Enel told everyone again. At this time Ganfer spoke. If you have time to say these boring words, just tell me the location of the god team, what is your purpose? Go back to the palace, Ganfer. Enel said. Once God has completed his journey, he will return to the place where he should return. Enel said. Go back. Are you leaving Sky Island? Ganfer asked. Yes, I have a place I should go back to. On the Sky Island where I was born, people think that's where God exists, people call it infinity. Enel said. There is a vast land that stretches as far as the eye can see, and that's the dream world I'm after. It's the most suitable infinite land for me. Enel's words were already a little crazy. It's really stupid to say that you can earn more in a small place like EPUB. Listen carefully. There are deep reasons for your struggles, think about it, not clouds but born in the sky, not birds but living in the sky. This country rooted in the air itself is an existence that goes against nature. The earth has the destination of the earth, the people have the destination of the people, and the gods also have the place where the gods should go. Quote. Enel talked at length. Shu Kang couldn't help dozing off. Should you want it? I don't know what to say. I shouldn't. I'm just a god, and I'm abiding by the laws of nature. That's right, I'm going to drag everyone out of this sky. Enel's crazy words startled many people. Robin, Nami, Zoro, Wiper and others were all shocked. Do you want to destroy this country? Ganfer asked earnestly, looking at Enel in front of him. That's nature, Enel said lightly. Stop being self-righteous. Enel, the name of God is nothing but the title of the leader of this country. Ganfer said. Yeah, it was like this before, Enel said, picking at earwax. In this world where people exist, there is no God at all. Ganfer was clearly annoyed. Enel said lightly, old God, gone fewer, ah ha 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 ha. You have been worried about the people of the God team. Then Enel sat cross-legged on the spot. 6 years ago, your 650 subordinates, who were defeated by our army and were in charge of me, just finished the work I gave them this morning. Did I say that on this island? It's a pity that there are only 7 of us on this island. Enel squeezed a stone and crushed it into sand, and its meaning was very clear. Ganfer was also a little angry. I didn't want to kill them, but when I told my purpose in the future, they rushed to kill me in a rage, ha ha ha. Enel laughed. They still have their family on Angel Island, said Ganfer. Yeah, that's why they say they have to get rid of their families as soon as possible. Enel's thinking can no longer make Ganfer understand. This guy doesn't care about the lives of others at all. You bastard. Ganfer finally couldn't help it. He took the lead and cursed, "Are you a devil?" Enel threw the going stick in his hand into the air, and then used his Logia's ability to quickly dodge Ganfer's attack. 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. Discharge. Enel directly condensed the lightning into a slender lightning, and finally, directly solved Ganfer. In this world, God exists, and that's me. After Enel said this, Ganfer fell to the ground. Even among Logia's abilities, they are called invincible abilities. Guro Guro no Mi, Rumble Rumble Fruit. Everyone present was a little dumbfounded. It stands to reason that when the old gods treated Enel, he would endure a few rounds, but he did not expect to be instantly killed in the first round. If Shu King knew the result would be like this, naturally he would not let Ganfer die. After all, he did not have observation haki who could predict the future. Ray, that kind of thing, how can humans handle it? Nami was also a little desperate. Then, it's just the time of the prophecy. However, there is still one more person, and I still have to deal with one person. Enel wanted to say something else. Shu King had already stepped forward. Nami Chopper, you don't need to hide. Next, leave this guy to me. Shu King was quite confident. You Blue Sea people are really strong, but you may not know the gap between us. I am the real god. No matter how strong you are just a mere mortal. Ha 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 ha. Even if you are a god, so what? Then I will be a mortal who dares to kill gods. Shu King snorted coldly, ready to fight. 30 million volt Thunderbird. Asura Slash. This time, the two sides used a relatively powerful trick from the very beginning, and Shu King directly used his Zanpakudo Shira. Since Shira is the state of the normal Shikai, it releases his unprecedented energy from the beginning. As for Enel's Thunderbird, it also looks very haki. The power of Thunderbolt and Shu King's sword chi finally collided together. A wave of air instantly rose around. What a strong collision. This level of power is simply beyond the reach of mortals. Zoro and Robin were also stunned. Chapter 138_Fight Enel again below. The third. After the attacks of the two sides collided with each other, the two sides started various melee battles. Shu King's ultra-high-speed movement and Enel's ultra-high-speed movement are both very fast. One is to use the instant body technique among the ninjas, and the other is to use the power of Logia's thunder and lightning. The two sides fought very wonderfully for a while. Since Shu King learned armament haki, he directly covered armament on his hands and his Shira. With armament, Shu King's attack can touch Enel. But this also prevented Shu King from using Logia's elementalization freely. In other words, the battle between the two at this time was basically a head-to-head fight. Shu King couldn't dodge Enel's lightning, and Enel couldn't dodge Shu King's series of attacks. I can't believe this guy is so strong. I can know his next move, but I don't have time to attack him. I can only be forced to defend. What's going on? Enel's heart network was useful, but there was no the method really attacked Shu King. And soon, Shu King became more and more brave, and Shu King, who played very heartily, directly opened the 3-go jade writing wheel. Then Enel was even more shocked, because in his heart, he could predict Shu King's actions, which made it difficult for him to understand. The other party is obviously not interested, but he can see through all his actions. What is the reason for this? Enel then finally asked. What the hell is going on? Why can you see through my actions? This sentence made everyone else stunned. Shu Kang can actually see through his actions. What's going on? Could it be because of those strange eyes? Robin seemed to have noticed some small details, but the specifics were still unclear. It turns out that you are absent-minded because of this. It's all because my eyes can lock you in. In other words, your every move can't escape my palm. Shu Kang was also very proud. How can you have such strange eyes? Who the hell are you? You're definitely not an ordinary blue sea person. Enel then smiled and said, don't you want to go to the infinite continent with me? Only people like you and me can realize their ambitions in that kind of place. That's where our dreams come from. Enel directly chose to dig a foot in the wall at this time, but Shu Kang naturally wouldn't accept it. Not to mention what's there. As long as Shu Kang doesn't follow the plot, he won't get the sign in reward, and the sign in reward is an unprecedented benefit for Shu Kang. Enel, since you claim to be a god, how can my mere human beings get into your eyes? I said that I want to beat you, but I want to beat you. Don't tell me, are you afraid? Shu Kang stimulated Enel, and he succeeded. Enel's expression changed again. Me, am I afraid? I'm a god, a real god. Enel's eyes became very fierce afterwards, and the thunder and lightning all over his body once again flourished. Discharge. Asura slash. Shu Kang once again used the Zanpakuto in his hand to block Enel's discharge. Enel's attack was not just like that. At this time, Enel seemed to be accumulating some great tricks, and the surrounding atmosphere became more and more depressing. Very good, seriously, that's right, after fighting for a long time, you don't even use your real skills, don't you look down on me. Don't worry, I'll show you a part of my abilities, and I promise to let you. I'll never forget it. Shu Kang smiled, and then the whole person disappeared. Chapter 139-200 million volts for silver. First change. 30 million volts. Thunder Beast. Enel did not stop his attack because of what Shu Kang said. This time, Enel is obviously trying to get his place back. Enel tapped the taiko on his left shoulder with his going stick, and the thunder and lightning he created appeared from the taiko in an instant, and then the wolf-shaped thunder wolf ran towards Shu Kang at high speed. Although the same as 30 million volts, the Thunderbird and Thunder Beast are slightly different before. Thunderbird is more of a swift, and Thunder Beast is swift. The high-voltage electricity rushed towards Shu Kang, and Shu Kang naturally wouldn't sit still. Although he can't be completely insulated from lightning like Luffy, Shu Kang has armament Haki in his demon body, so he still has immunity to lightning. Plus the Zanpakuto in Shu Kang's hand. The 30 million Thunder Beasts seem to be very powerful, but for me, it is still a little tender. Block him. Shu Kang held Shira in his backhand. Facing the Thunder Beast rushing towards him, Shu Kang did just that. Immediately afterwards, the lightning overflowed, and even others who did not encounter the lightning were affected by the huge lightning. It's really strong. It's the first time I've seen a fight of this level. Nami couldn't help but said. Is this still a human battle? It really is a godlike battle. Chopper also whispered beside him. I didn't expect Shu Kang to block the thunder and lightning so easily. I didn't expect that he could block Logia's attack. Robin knew that Logia was powerful, so after Shu Kang blocked the Thunder Beast, it was Robin who was most surprised. Of course, Ganfer and Wiper were also surprised and speechless. How is that possible? Why do you block my thunderbolts one after another? What is that black thing on you? As a mortal, you shouldn't have the ability to match me. Enel has never seen anything like this before, so right now he's a little pissed off. But before Shu Kang could say anything, Enel immediately said, Alright, Blue Sea people, your name is Shu Kang, right? Infinity, where will I build the real kingdom of God? You have such superb ability, therefore, I warmly invite you. The only people who can live in that land are those who are chosen here, and you, even if it's the chosen one. Enel showed his loving talent, sighed, obviously, he didn't want to waste more time with Shu Kang here. Enel wants to get everyone present without a single shot, and going to the infinite land is the ultimate thing at present. What the hell is that guy talking about? Nami couldn't understand Enel's words. I can't even afford to play survival games for so many hours. Even if my old men live there, it will only lower the standard of the country, Enel said. What if we refuse? Robin said bluntly. No. Why? That's my decision. Staying here will only go to hell with this country, Enel said. Indeed, you should be able to do it with your ability, but if you destroy this country indiscriminately, even the things you want will fall down together. Robin asked rhetorically. You mean the going bell? Enel asked. Yes, Robin confirmed. Ahahaha, you don't have to worry, I already know it in my mind, just think about the actions you took, there is only one possible place. After Enel finished speaking, panic appeared on Robin's face immediately. I must be thinking the same thing as you. You seem surprised. Do you think using this condition will put you in a good position? It's superficial, Enel said. I hate women who make small calculations. Enel's body was full of lightning, and he was ready to kill Robin. At this time, Shu King stood in front of Robin again. Looks like, if you don't beat you, you'll stop me from doing everything, right? Enel then said, I'll give you one last chance to join me, or else, there will be no burial. Shu King said without thinking, no need, what fun is there on the moon? There is no sea, so how can you go on an adventure? People like you and I have no partners, and we don't have any common language. Come on, don't waste time, let's solve all this. Shu King was ready to fight. Seeing that Shu King had no intention of leaving here with him, Enel finally made up his mind. Bastard. Very good. Since you dare to disobey God's will, then I can only seriously destroy you. Enel then became serious, and this time he did not intend to let Shu King go. 60 million volts. Brontosaurus. Enel tapped the drum on both shoulders, and displayed the thunder and lightning he made from the drum, and finally formed a huge thunder dragon rushing towards Shu King. This time, the drums were struck on both sides, which means that the ability that Enel used this time was a combination of Thunder Beast and Thunderbird. Today's 60 million volts are not so easy to carry. Faced with such high voltage electricity, most people are afraid that the electricity will go black for a moment, and then fall to the ground. Shu King used armament hardening, the first stage form, and the Shira in his hand to block thunder and lightning's attack. When Shu King saw that Thunder Dragon rushing towards him aggressively, he was both excited and excited. It was like riding a roller coaster. Although he knew he couldn't fall, he still had a wonderful sense of pleasure. Enel's tricks now. With Shu King's current strength, Thunder Dragon was still abruptly blocked. This time, Enel did not continue to be shocked. Since Shu King can block the Thunderbird and Thunder Beast with 30 million volts, and the Thunder Dragon, it doesn't seem to be a problem. Your strength is beyond my imagination. Although I don't want to destroy you, but you insist on dying, I have no choice. In this case, I will let you taste the taste of hell. Enel's entire body was once again filled with thunder, but this time, Enel's thunder was much stronger than usual. Enel's whole body is exceptionally dazzling. Even Shu King felt a tinge of numbness in this thunder. 200 million volts max. Thor. After Enel finished speaking, all the lightning from his body was released. Shu King knew that this move was Enel's single strongest move. At this time, Shu King didn't care about his hidden strength. Armament hockey was all released, and the power of the devil was also catalyzed to the maximum. The Shira in his hand was also pulled out, forming a sword chi that resisted Enel's most powerful move. Can I stop it? Shu King seemed a little unsure. No matter what, this was 200 million volts. I didn't have time to write yesterday. Chapter 140-Susano. The second more kaleidoscope. Since ancient times, lightning has been a kind of energy that connects thousands of worlds with self-cultivation. But now, after using Enel's 200 million volts, a larger blue lightning Enel appeared directly in front of him. This Enel slapped Shu King with a palm, and looking at the power, it was obvious that he wanted to tear Shu King apart easily. And Shu King was hit by such a high-voltage lightning head-on. Obviously it would not be so easy to be fine. While resisting the lightning, Shu King quickly improved his defense, trying to use brute force to resist all of Enel's attacks. However, at this time, Shu King's eyes seemed to have a new change. I don't know if it was affected by the system's image or by the Enel lightning. Shu King only felt the strength of his body from top to bottom, and seemed to be concentrated in his eyes in an instant, and his eyes turned a little for a while. Except for, Shu King felt itchy eyes. Just when Enel's thunder was flourishing, Shu King felt a little pressure. Shu King felt that his eyes had undergone great changes, and Shu King only felt that his body was able to resist the thunder and lightning around him all at once. Shu King looked around and found something incredible. In addition to the demon possessed by his own body, there is actually a huge bone phantom. Could this be Susanoo? Although it was Susa in the first form, the feeling of absolute defense was still obvious. Even with such a powerful high-voltage lightning bolt as Enel, Shu King still resisted it. What is this? Is it Shu King's trick? Shu King didn't seem to have used this kind of thing before, and always felt that this kind of thing looked very dark. Zoro said. This power is very oppressive, it seems very evil. But it is also very powerful. Robin couldn't help but say. Is this your companion? It feels a little different from just now. Even Wiper felt it. And Shu King felt that with his current state, he could continue to improve Susanoo's state. Drink. Shu King shouted more chakra and poured it into his kaleidoscope writing wheel. After that, only part of the skeleton was Susanoo, but now it has become a fully body skeleton. A lot of flesh and blood, muscles, and finally merged into the shape of a person. Shu King did not stop the evolution of Susanoo, and the huge human body was then covered with armor. Shu King thought that Susanoo had evolved here temporarily. He wanted to continue to evolve. However, because the kaleidoscope had just been opened, Shu King was not so comfortable with the kaleidoscope. Even Enel was shocked at this point. He stared at everything in front of him and said, "Impossible. What kind of strange trick are you doing? Is it also your fruit ability? What the hell is going on? 200 million volts. Will 200 million volts be ineffective against you? It's impossible." Enel didn't believe it at all, but reality defeated him easily. Don't believe it. Since you don't believe it, please attack me at will. At this time, Shu King was no longer afraid of Enel, and even if Enel attacked at will, Shu King would not feel any pain. At this time, Shu King possessed the 4 powers of armament, the power of fruit, the power of Zanpakuto, and the power of kaleidoscope Sharingan. This level of defense was beyond the scope of Enel's understanding. At this time, Enel also brought his own single ability to the extreme. The 200 million volts attacked Shu King again without any restraint. Susanoo. Shu King didn't stop him at all and let Enel attack. 1 palm, 2 palms. Enel used the God of Thunder to hit Shu King countless palms. The electric light flickered, but Susanoo, at this time, his clothes were not torn. Shu King used the Zanpakuto Shira, so Susanoo also had a very handsome sword around his waist. Enel, you should have finished attacking, right? Is it time for me next? Shu King coldly asked Isho, then pulled out Shira. At this time, Susanoo seemed to be in sync with Shu King, and he also pulled out the knife at his waist. Then, Shu King pulled out Shira and slashed at Enel's Thor. At the same time, Susanoo naturally also attacked Thor. Bastard! Do you think you can do anything to me with your mortal strength? Enel is still so tough, he doesn't think he can lose to Shu King at all. However, reality has been smacking Enel's mouth. When Susanoo Shu King slashed Enel's Thor with a knife and disappeared, Shu King's knife was already on Enel's neck. Enel, you lost. If you just wanted to kill you, you are already dead. Shu King said lightly. Enel gritted his teeth. Never been humiliated like this since he ate Guro Guro no Mi, Rumble Rumble fruit. Shu King. This is not over. Enel said. It's not over. What can you do now? Run away with your tail between your legs. Or, can you defeat me in this state? At this time, Shu King was like a demon. In comparison, Shu King now King is more like a big villain. So strong. Why is Shu King so strong? Luffy and Shu King are no longer on the same level. This time, my friends also saw that Shu King's strength was far beyond Luffy's unknown number of streets. Wiper was also surprised to have sat on the ground, forgetting the current environment. Fortunately, they were on the same front now. If the Shandia people really offended Shu King, it would be more terrifying than Enel. Amaterasu. Shu King looked at Enel and said the word Amaterasu. Immediately afterwards, Enel's body was inexplicably ignited by a black flame, and Enel cried out in pain. But don't forget that Enel was Logia's ability. At this time, Enel directly chose to run away, even Shu King did not expect it. Bang! The dignified god just disappeared in place. Ha 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 ha, Shu King couldn't help laughing. God. Enel, he even fled in front of everyone at this very moment. You guy should know how much he weighs, right? Shu King didn't chase after Enel, because at this time Shu King's eyes had already started to bleed. Now it is only upgraded to a kaleidoscope writing wheel, not an eternal kaleidoscope, so Shu King has not reached the level of unlimited use of Suzuo. Even after using it for a short while, Shu King already had a considerable burden. Although the kaleidoscope is good, it still can't be used much. It's better to use it recklessly after being promoted to eternal. Shu King thought to himself. Killing Enel, it's not over, because Enel must be recuperating at this time, planning to start his own plan, and run away ahead of schedule.